You're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. They're puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. Resist!
Happy Sunday.
Hello.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Woohoo.
How's everyone doing?
Cheers.
Cheers. Hope everybody's got their coffee and their doobie or their cigarette or their pipe. Not one of those pipes. I'm talking about a tobacco pipe. And I hope everybody's enjoying their Sunday. What is it? It's 17 minutes past 3 Greenwich Mean Time. So in London and in the Canary Islands, nearly 20 past 3. It's 20 past 9. Is it in Oregon?
It's 7. It's about 20
past 7. Yeah,
so
and
hitting the bay.
Callum's got to be like 2 in the morning sometime.
No, it's quarter to midnight here.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, good, reasonable.
So we've got we're covering quite a wide band of time zones across this beautiful earth on this wonderful Sunday. What's the weather like where you are? We have had nothing but rain for 2 days straight now, and it's just this drizzle. It's just perpetual drizzle, and the clouds are. It's just a grey. It's like England, but they're like, I don't know. It's like they're 30,000 feet up in the air. It's just grey blanket. It's just perpetual drizzle on us for the last 2 days. It's flooded everywhere. What's the weather like where you are?
Here,
yeah,
it's nice and dry, warming up, but it's still a little bit chilly at night time. So we're getting into the
you're coming into your summer now.
Yeah, but we've got rain here predicted for the next couple of days. I think Tuesday it's going to start pouring down.
Sarah and Kevin have had rain in Oregon. It's looking beautiful in Oregon.
No,
yesterday it was beautiful, not a cloud in the sky. It was like nice. Today,
but you had rain last. But you had rain last night though.
No, moisture because we're right on the coast, so you get like that.
Oh,
it's foggy this morning.
It gets very damp. Then
Yeah.
it gets very damp, man. Yeah, that's why okay, yeah. So I was mistaken. It hasn't been raining, but it is.
That's why, Richie, you know when I showed you that video that I'll share with everyone, it's like the grass was kind of dry. Like you could tell, right? It was real, like it was very pretty because you had this blue water right up against that kind of tan color, but that's not normal. Usually it's like really bright lime green from all the rain and moisture. So it's just the time of year right now. But we actually have some rain potential thunderstorm. That's always exciting on the forecast next week. But we have like several days today and a couple, I think 2 more days after this where it's like just going to be gorgeous, where the fog breaks up real quick. As soon as the sun comes up, it burns it off. And you get these like pink hues in the morning, pink blue hues together in the morning.
I really love morning mist. Right, when you get a morning mist, that's just when it hangs in the trees. Like especially if you manage to get above it, and you can just see a morning mist hanging in the trees.
And when the sun starts breaking through, kind of like that picture I have, you know, where it starts, and you can start to see the blue just a little bit. I love it.
It's an absolutely beautiful earth we live in.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to give a shout out to the chat room.
Yeah.
So we can start off. JP, I'm not sure about swingers, mate.
No, you know what he's swinging branch to branch. That's his thing, which he goes into all of our chat rooms. So
no, yeah, I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, why am I hearing myself?
Oh, I'm hearing you as well. Oh,
someone is that you, Kevin, playing YouTube in the background?
Somebody's got YouTube.
I got it.
Yeah.
You gotta mute your YouTube. I'm gonna mute you quick.
Here he is, back on the branch. Massive fire vibes to you too, JP. Good to see you, man. Sherry Ives, how are you doing, darling? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Brian Evans, Borodar, Milmucker. How are you, mate? I might, well, yeah, maybe if I end up in Wales, we'll be able to hook up, Brian. Me, you, and Lee be able to hook up if I end up in Wales for a little bit. But more on that later. Leafy, how you doing, buddy? You're right, mate. Callum Wilkinson, how are you? Entire Cosmos.
I didn't see him.
Entire Cosmos, love you too. Not sure what chat room you're in. I don't recognize you. Perhaps you're in Roxanne's chat, but love to you too. Thank you very much for being here. And that's it. That's it. Oh no, What the Flock TV. Here we go. We've got one of the real channels in here. One of the real content makers. How you doing, man? I loved your show with Cam the other day. That was brilliant. And there's Cam. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. You should have an invite. And if you want to send it to Paul as well, like Paul's welcome to come on always. So yeah, that's a little shout out to the chat room. Just a quick one. We haven't really got any sort of set show today. It's not anything burning on our lips.
You got to do shameless
Sorry.
plugs. I'm sorry. I do want to show this off really quick because shameless plugs.
Well, no, this is what I was going to say. Is like we do have some shameless plugs to make because we have been making progress in other areas. Because obviously now what we're trying to do is focus most of our energy and attention onto actually manifesting this idea. Because at the moment that's all it is. It's just an idea at the moment, but it's really it exists in our minds. This is a place that exists, and we want to get more people.
A month until things are probably going to start getting pretty serious pretty quick.
Yeah.
So because as soon as Kevin's there, yeah. Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Yeah, I go down on the 28th of October, so it's more than just an idea. We're
exactly. But no, what I mean, Kev, is that to the people that are watching at the moment, it's just something we're talking about. They don't really, nothing's really happening. We're just talking about it and presenting lots of nice photographs and videos and whatever. And
right.
But we're putting time and energy and effort into things like getting all the stuff that we can get done, like the logo. It's an important thing. Getting the logo, getting the brand. Not brand in that sense. We're not going to try and commercialize this idea and start selling merchandise. This is about, this is all part of actually creating this thing. This idea that I had 2 years ago but now it's become, it was a seed 2 years ago, and now we've got an online group with a few of us in there, and we've got this idea, this it's more than an idea. Like Kev says, he's actually flying to Ecuador on the 28th to go and start integrating back in with the Quechua people, with his family that he has there, his family and his friends that he has there. And you know, I'll get there as quick as I can. Sarah will get there as quick as she can, and people will start seeing things moving. And it's obviously the more people that can get behind it, even if it's just sharing the videos, so that more eyes get to see what's being done. We watched I think it'd be a good idea to talk about today, to talk about that Kingdom of Pineal. We should
bring it up, because we should talk about our research with the PMA and now like where we're leaning towards, because we have done a lot of other work other than just a logo. Not that you were indicating that, but just that we have been doing a lot of research. And the other thing I think our goal is, and that you're gonna start seeing as part of our content that we're gonna start showing with this channel, is some of the research we're gonna doing on the techniques. And one of the things I know I really want to focus on is breathing techniques, because it's always been a dream of mine to teach what I've talked about with my patients as far as getting off of these machines. And, you know, it's more complicated. I'm not just saying like it's a cure-all or where's our disclaimer, right? A cure-all or that's going to work for everybody. But I want to make sure that, you know, people see the intent behind what we're going to do. And so we want to become more or less trained in that, but then also share it. Now, we've talked already with Callum on doing a sideshow. And so that we're going to be making that, we're going to get that going and make that happen. And whether it'll be a weekly or a bi-weekly or monthly thing, but it's going to more or less talk about some of the things that we're hoping to be able to incorporate once we are able to get things going with the Wellness Center, especially so that you know what you're looking to come into. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. You can't tell.
So my mind's gone completely blank.
Well, you were talking about, and we should just segue into this, is the why don't you pull up the Kingdom
of Pineal. Okay, so this is
and
a
talk
chat
about that. We want to know also who's had experience with this, but like, let's just get into what we want to do next. Go ahead.
So let's see if I can find it. So the other day I watched this video by this guy. Oh no, that's not. Oh, right, hang on. Sorry. And he's talking about the Kingdom of Pineal, and it's this. Basically, it's a area of land in Portugal that Pineal de Quinta or Quinta de Pineal or so. I can't remember what it's called, but now I'm not going to be able to find the video, am I? Oh, there it is. And what he's talking about is what I've talked about, because I've heard about it from other obviously other YouTube creators talking about common law and talking about the Sestuikevi act that was enacted within well, there was an act enacted within the Sestuikevi Act law in 1666 that declares us all as abandoned, dead, missing, lost at sea, and basically incapable in a legal sense of being responsible for any wealth or possessions. So what happens is a capable person is able to take control of the incapable person's assets. And they talk about it. It's something that that I showed Dr. Barlando, Bearlando, talking about how they'd written into the first Bilderberg meeting or whatever it was, where they were saying about how they didn't want basically your common man to have any control of any wealth because they were incapable of it. It should be in the control of intelligent, capable men like ourselves, right? And they consider themselves to be so much higher than us. Yeah, they are educated and capable because they understand the law. They understand that after the age of 7, you can present yourself as alive. You can declare to the Vatican and to the government that, yes, hello, I'm alive. I'm not lost at sea. I'm alive. I'm capable, and therefore inherit and responsible, and therefore not be subject to all these, you know, stupid tricks that swindles like that we get roped into because we sign over our power of attorney. Essentially, we have no power of attorney really, because as far as legally, as far as they're concerned, we are dead fictional corporate entities. We're stock. We're not actually living men and women. And because none of us, you know, are bright enough to go up and say, hi, I'm a living man, and we claim the identity of the straw man without realizing it, we say, yeah, I'm a dead fictional entity. I can't present myself. I have to be represented by a lawyer or barrister because I'm not capable of presenting myself. You know, we've been swindled. And what this guy's talking about is, and it works out like that. I like the mathematics on it. I've not heard these mathematics on it before. And so when I heard him, it was like, rah, that makes sense. That actually makes sense what he's saying. Now, me and Sarah and Kev have sat and debated as to whether this is just a cult or this is a scam to sell videos. Because as Sarah and Kev and myself, I've heard people saying these things before, but what none of us have really ever seen is anybody that seems to have been successful. We hear about the stories that you can do it, but we don't see the running commentary with the people that have done it. And this guy is claiming to have done it. He's got that, you know, they've got video of the whole settlement, and it's quite a nice, beautiful, you know, what they're presenting is paradise. So is it a scam? Is this a scam? We don't know. I've actually sent them. I've contacted them, and I'm waiting for them to get back to me. I've still not heard anything back. So,
what'd you ask? You go,
you know,
are you a scam?
No. What I said was, wow, this is really incredible information that you're giving here. Myself and some friends are actually trying to do something similar, and obviously, you know, we're not the first people to have done this. And you obviously know way more than us. Can you help us, basically? And so that, you know, if these people are genuine, they'll want to help us, surely. Because I know for us, whatever we're doing, if somebody wants to do it somewhere else, we'll help them to do it. We'll help with whatever knowledge we gain from what we're doing. We'll pass that on to anybody else that's trying to do it themselves. But people are going to follow us while we're doing it. They're going to see what the obstacles that we face, the things that we have to do, and the things we have to think about. Go on, Kev. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
I did some digging on this Kingdom of Pineal, and I came across a couple different pages talking about it. One is a Reddit, and the Reddit has posts from people who say they've dropped out of there, people that say they have family members that have gone there, and another guy who worked with him as a personal chef, I guess, for a few years before he started the cult. So it seems like there's people there posting that it's actually a cult and that people are leaving there.
The thing is, right, but I can see how that can happen, right? But can you see, I can see how it can happen that like what we're doing, that if we were that way inclined, what we're trying to do will be a cult. If we were that way inclined.
I'm saying it's not that they're so much they're calling it a cult is they're saying they're leaving there and there's some like violence going on there and there's
because people
losing their money, like turning over their financials, which I could see how that could be. It could be twisted because it could be like, well, you have to go through.
Right, and all good things are going to have been infiltrated as well. All good things are going to have been infiltrated. So I really think it's really worth considering what he's saying and trying, at least seeing how far we can go with it. Because it might be that he was on the right track and it just got infiltrated by some scumbags, some pathologicals. Because that's all it takes. It just takes one pathological to infiltrate your network and they can fuck it up.
Yeah.
They're worse than tapeworm.
But remember, like you're also dealing with scum. You're dealing with the mafia, basically.
Pathologicals. Yeah. That book's so correct, man. There's two type of people. There's pathologicals and there's normals. Mm. There's people that have no connection. No, they just don't have feelings. They know what feelings are. They understand what they are. They can emulate them. They can pretend. They can convince a lot of people that they have them.
Sociopath,
pathological.
Well, yeah, and
sociopathological,
psychopath as well. But the psychopaths are the ones that don't even love their family, if you know what I mean. And a sociopath is someone who
sociopath is made.
Family, and it will always be about their family, like you see in the mafia.
Mm.
But anyone else outside the family, fair game.
Right. Did you watch, have you seen Nope? The film Nope that's been released this year.
Nope.
Right. Jay Dreamers did a deep dive on it and I was like, rah, I'm gonna watch that. So I watched it and they have the perfect, they show it, right? This kid is a child actor and he acts in this 80s sitcom with a chimpanzee. And on one of the episodes, the chimpanzee goes mental and rips apart everybody on set except the little boy. And he's just like under the table, shitting his pants, right? And then later on in life, he's completely unaffected by it. He's trying to make money off it, He's a sociopath. He's a pure, like, because sociopaths, so psychopaths are born, sociopaths are made, right? Do you agree with that? You can't make a psychopath because deep inside, there's always the original deep inside, and if the original wasn't broken, then.
For me, I see it as a level of the ego as well. So when you're going up to that psychopath, it's all ego, no soul. And then as you go down the line, sociopath, there's more. And as you go down, that is what is wakening up as well, is to an extent a losing of that ego or an observing of that ego, so a detachment from that ego. Whereas opposed to a psychopath is all ego, no belief, just the ego, no real world. And so it becomes all an act. But in terms of, because I can see it as a scale and getting worse and worse and worse to the point of a psychopath as well. I can see someone starting as a sociopath and ending up a psychopath. Bit by bit. And I see it in this world in a degree anyway, whereas if you just flow and go along with what the world, the man-made world here tells you, Well, then you end up a psychopath because that is what is being created.
Or certainly you end up a sociopath.
Yeah,
like you switch.
Yeah,
you just switch off.
But their height, they want everyone to be a psychopath, basically.
Yeah,
not even caring about their own family and stuff. And we can see that separation of the families and that unit of family more and more. You know, so as we see through time, it getting worse, where a psychopath is allowed, a sociopath is allowed, a narcissist is allowed.
I'll tell you what
you have to be to be successful.
But you know how they've programmed people. So I think one of the best examples is Arrested Development. Right? Who knows Arrested Development?
I think
there must be people. It's a comedy, and basically it's about a left-wing Democrat family in DC. One of them, like the dad, gets done for building houses in Iraq under contract for Saddam Hussein, and he goes to prison, right? But every single character in that show, is an absolute 100% sociopathic narcissist. But what it does is, like, we warm to those characters. Like, we find them endearing, and they make them lovable, yeah. And they do it. They do it with Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. You know, they make people with
Rick and Morty
with personality disorders. They've normalized it.
Well, you guys were talking about Sesame Street the other week, right? Look at all the characters on Sesame Street, and they all have disorders, right?
Yeah. Groucho.
Yep. There's a kleptomaniac in there. There's a snuffleupagus. So, you know,
he's a hoarder, isn't he?
Just always in flu or
Big Bird's a crack addict.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's been going on for a very long time, right? But you see now, like, especially with animation and stuff, you see it get worse. If you compare what's done now to early stuff, you can see that jump and you go, oh, wow, you know, that's quite blatant now. But it's that slow crawl, that slow leak into it, you know, that tiptoe.
Oh, yeah, it's the, like David Icke calls it, the totalitarian tiptoe. It's the totalitarian tiptoe, man. Just keep tiptoeing us. Tiptoe, shuffle a bit. Oh, they didn't like that. Shuffle a bit.
Like, on the other side of that, we have to understand that it's a subtle thing. That, you know, where do you draw this line? You have to build up this line. You actually have to see that there's a fucking line there to start with. You know, and it's hard to explain to someone else because they are tiptoeing away, and it's a little thing. It's just a little thing. Just wear the mask.
It's for boiling frogs, so
you know.
It's the boiling frogs. It's people, and you say that to people, and they think you're you know, insane. But it's like, how are you enjoying that pot on the stove right now? Have you tested the water yet? Because it must be getting close to boiling.
Well, it comes to speaking to people as well, whereas a lot of awake people want to dribble on 100 things, you know, and this and this and this and this and this, because that is part of it, that you do need to see that it is all of these little things adding up, you know, and some of them are actually massive things, like, you know, where do we live and stuff like this as well.
So I watched a great video.
A whole bunch of little things line up to see that, wait, there is a pattern here, you know. So they have to identify the pattern, and you can't identify the pattern with only one or two dots, you know.
No, I watched a fantastic video though by a guy called Dwayne. It's the Dry Wrangler something rodeo something or other. He's this American guy, trains horses. And he's got a horse ranch, gives riding lessons and whatever, and he was giving advice on how to be a good man, like a man a man of men kind of thing. And
A man's
the
man.
last, yeah, a man's man, or man, no, a man amongst men. He says, a man
Gillette,
amongst men.
number 5.
So, but everything he says, like, it was really heartwarming to hear, you know, to hear what he was saying, because hopefully it's not just my ego, but I sat there and thought to myself, rah, that's what I, you know, that's what I do. That's how I try to be. And one of the things that he says was, it was perfect, because he was saying, you know, you might not feel like that. You might know that you're not that man yet. You're not that man that you're trying to be, but that doesn't, you know, basically fake it till you make it. Pretend to be that man. And then in pretending to be that man,
that's
you
still
become
a bit
that man.
Yeah. Instead of saying fake it, just be it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just be it. Because that pretending and that faking, those words are still spells. And then that's what stops us from achieving those things as well. That full confidence, that full.
But the idea of it is essentially the same. You are doing your best to just be that person. You're doing your absolute best to be that person that you're trying, that you present yourself as.
Yeah. I want to share.
I am becoming.
One sec.
I am becoming that. You are in the process of doing it, as opposed to I'm trying to be this, because that's a failure already.
It's a real short.
So in that language,
is it connected?
Yeah, it's totally.
Listen, play it, man.
I lived in California, and I had a friend who's a Native American. He's a Navajo, and like we were friends. We got high together all the time, and we're walking on the path one day, and I'm thinking, man, I wish he would like tell me some like real like grain of wisdom, you know. And just as I thought that, he stopped and he says, "You got to act like you know what you're doing."
Yeah.
And then
I remember you telling me about that. You told me about that. Yeah. And that's essentially what it is.
That's exactly what you're saying. And that's exactly what he's saying, because the great spirit is guiding you.
Yes.
And it is choosing.
Just have faith.
Even more, you know, we have this ideal about free will. And maybe free will is more like being in the hand of the guide, you know, releasing your will.
Releasing your will. The free will with.
It's like flowers. Flowers don't like will their petals to go forth, you know. It's just the process of the unfolding.
You're going to eat the meal. You have to eat the meal, but the flavor of the meal, you know, free choice.
So what this guy says, he says the fifth thing, the fifth thing that you need is wisdom, and wisdom is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. That's knowledge. Knowing that the tomato is a fruit, but not putting it in a fruit salad, that's wisdom.
Knowing how to make
being able to apply the things that you know in a good way, but also not knowing that not everybody needs to hear everything that you know. You don't need to tell everybody everything that you know. That's the thing that stuck with me as well. What you said, like, just like, there's times to be quiet. There's times to just be quiet and not say anything. Be a quiet man.
As an overshare, that is 100% true. It's about expending your energy. And then the other thing too is like, how many times have you stopped and thought, I definitely don't need to say that, after you've, you know, taken another second. You're like, yeah, that's not going to help anybody. They're not going to understand it. And this is where I have this issue too, because I'm quick to jump on something, and then I catch myself saying, I'm sorry, that came off funny. You know, I need to reword that actually. But that's something as the programming.
You're teaching yourself too. You're teaching yourself. So a lot of things are for you, not for, you know, the thought is there for you to understand, to get clarity.
It's like me telling people, you know, what the most important lesson to learn. The most important lesson in this life that you absolutely must learn is to let go. You have to learn to let go of things and of people, and of especially things that you love and you're emotionally attached to. And it's like, well, hang on. That was my lesson. That was my lesson in this incarnation. But it doesn't have to be everybody's. Like, it is important that people learn it, but it was my lesson. Like, so
yeah,
your lesson might be more important. You might have a different lesson that's like more important to you.
Exactly.
Like with addictions, and you know, and vices, enjoying vices. Me getting up on my high horse about people drinking, because I've made the decision that allows spirits into the body, and you know, allows you to be overtaken by your ego. If it puts your spirit to sleep, or it puts the connection between your spirit and your soul and your ego to sleep. So it's just your ego walking around that pissed, and you know, in my reality, that's what it does to me. That's what it's done to people that I've been involved with. But
mine too.
It's my experience.
And from what I've observed, everyone else. You know?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Thankfully, a lot of people can agree on that one. But you know what I'm getting at. You know, it's like this is just, it's my experience, my life experience.
But I have that experience, and you have that experience as well. People, like, I really needed to go through that to understand it. Like, I wouldn't change anything. And so to allow someone else to have their experiences.
Yes, that's it.
As well.
Allow people to make their own mistakes, man. Allow them to make their mistakes, because it's the only way you grow.
Yeah. I'd be loving on the other side, you know.
My parents always said, oh, you always have to do things the hard way. You always have to do things the hard way. We told you shouldn't have done that. Because I did. I'd be like, really? You say I shouldn't do it? Okay, I'm off to do that then. You know? No, I wasn't. It was just things, crazy things, man. But yeah, I've always done things the hard way, because I think in my experience, things have just always worked out different for me. Like, well, yeah, you say you did that and it happened, when everything happened like that. But when I went to do it, that's not how it went. That's not how it went. So how can you say that, you know? So I apply that to everything in life. I applied that to absolutely everything in life. Like, well, that was your experience.
It's easy to actually like imagine, and we do this, actually we end up doing this, to imagine the process that it took for somebody to get to there. It's the same thing when we talk about, again, the people that we're not condoning them by any means, and we still would put them on that same, you know, hey, you should try to do better, be better kind of a thing, right? But like, it's the same thing when we talk about these politicians and how they got to where they got to. What happened to them when they were a child? The only source of love they knew was from that. They knew nothing else. And it took them X amount of time to figure that out. Now they're entwined so far into it. They still don't see it. You know, those kind of things, like to try to understand where we are.
And also, in order to get any attention. Oh, Trudeau. Yeah, well, the guy that's just got, and the guy that's up against him.
You know, there's some polar opposites for you. Same family.
Who's the guy that's running? Who's the guy that's running against Trudeau? I like him.
I don't know.
I don't know what his name is, but I like him. He looks like a little sort of little bit Weasley, but yeah, he's I like that guy. But yeah, it's
it will be interesting to see what happens with Canada, because I never expected like the strictness that went down there to happen, and so many people. And then think about this, guys. Think about how when Trump, the push with Trump, and then like when he came in and everybody wanted to flee, and so now they all went to this place where like it ends up being stricter than it is here. That's kind of a conundrum.
But it's
like sending a message to, like, you can't flee anywhere.
They're playing risk.
Fleeing anyway. Like in terms of how I see that, it's
definitely.
It doesn't matter where you are, really. It doesn't matter where you are. It's where you are here inside. You know, it's what state you're at. It's what being you are being.
Right,
that
governs you. That's so important, Callum, because there's people that like there's normal people out there, like what you'd say normal, and if you were to put them into my situation, if they were to suddenly wake up tomorrow morning exactly in my situation,
they freak out.
They probably freak the fuck out. They'd have a fucking heart attack. They'd be like, "Oh my God, how can you possibly exist?" Like, and I'm just sat here like,
so,
yeah, whatever. It's just another day, man.
Right?
It's just another day.
Yeah, when you tell me like some drama, I'm like, oh, okay, not surprised.
Oh, the things
that's a good
that is drama for some
isn't
people.
That's a really good thought exercise. If you put yourself in someone else's shoes, you know. And
that's how would you
feel? Like, you know, if you get to a place where it doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter whose shoes you're in, you jump at any experience. You know, I mean, because that's where I want everyone to be as well. Because you know, if we all experience everything, I want you to have the best life possible. You know, and if we all, you know, it's seeing myself in another. It is that seeing God in everyone and everything, because that is the experience.
And if they're not awake to it, you want them to be. You want to be able to give them that little bit of ounce of
leeway. You know,
but also, like you said, but the same as with letting people make their own mistakes. It's like maybe some people, it's just letting them have the experience purely as their ego. Like not
think about it in your own terms. Like you give your ego the own opportunity as well.
Yeah,
right. And that's experience and learning.
Yeah,
and you have to have patience and all of this as well. It's like talking to yourself is the same as talking to everyone. If
people were certain that, hey, this isn't the only go that I'm going to have at this, like. If people knew that their consciousness, once that connection is made, the consciousness lives on, kind of thing. It's that's what I think is like, because the ego dies with the body, right? But maybe if there is the connection made and the ego is humbled in that lifetime, part of that ego goes, is integrated into the consciousness, because it, what the consciousness has learned from the ego, because this is meant to be a symbiotic learning experience for the evolution of consciousness. Yeah. So
it's like a lag too, I would say, because you're still that detaching and that letting go is still, it could, like, this is why people have like problems with past lives and stuff as well, like traumas that they're living through right now, because there is that memory still. And that ego is still got problems.
I heard a really good theory about your spirit, right? About your spirit that travels with you. So your spirit is held, your soul within your soul. Anyway, your spirit. Let's say you take a car journey, and you travel across states, and you do a 4-hour car journey, travel across states, you're doing 100 miles an hour all the way. It takes a while for your spirit to catch up to your body. So when you at the end of a long car journey, you feel you don't feel great. You don't feel yourself. You might feel agitated, tired, after a long car journey. People just want to and it's because your spirit is taking your spirit a little while to catch up to your body.
This is why I tell people to stop. Just stop, like meditation. Like my sort of definition for meditation
ground
is just stop.
And if you ground when you stop.
Yeah. I mean,
So
when you
if
connect as much as possible physically, mentally, all of these steps along the way, the more connection you make, the quicker the journey is.
Yeah.
You know, it might be why everybody feels the same when they get off a plane, you know, a plane journey. Everybody feels the same, man. We all feel shit when we get off a plane. We all feel like we're coming down with something. Nobody comes off a plane going, wow, I feel amazing.
See,
I feel like I've just had a bath in Epsom salts and it's fantastic.
And I think it's an energy thing. I think you're absorbing a lot of energy in an airplane, and there's so much stress associated around
frequency.
it. Everybody's always like stressed, and even like when they're on their plane, they're not relaxed yet
because of what they've had to go through to get on the plane. All of the anxieties that you get put through. So you've got traveling there on the airport to get there on time, but it's raining and there's traffic, and every single light you go through is a bloody red light, and you got to get to the airport. When you get to the airport,
wake up
they
at
stop
2
you at the
a.m.
security desk. Yeah, and they stop you at the security desk and ask you to take your shoes and socks off, and you're like, do I look like a fucking drug dealer? But no, you got to take your shoes and socks off, and you got to take your belt off, and they're gonna what, and you know, and it's just stress after stress after stress after stress.
Listen,
yeah.
That all gets
so in terms of studies too, like
that all gets washed away if you're in a plane that is like in a really bad storm, or you have some kind of a technical difficulty, and then you land and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad.
And that connects everybody. But that connects everybody.
Out by 3 security guards, all that stuff is like forgotten.
And dude, like, it connects everybody as well. Everybody suddenly is like, wow, we survived. We all survived. We're here. We survived. You know,
there is a way to override that. So when you're on a plane, just make some skirmish up on the plane so everybody freaks out, and then you'll have a nice landing.
Good chaos.
Yeah, just
I don't want you to break any of the laws, or just.
I was going to say something then, and then I thought, actually, no, it's a really good idea. I don't say that on YouTube, but just yell something really loud, and just hope that there's not a marshal on the plane with a gun.
I was thinking just use, use some, just create some cloud cover up ahead, some reverse cloud blasting, just make the clouds gather and a little turbulence. That'd be enough.
Oh, if you could, I'll tell you what, if you could sit there, Kevin Sarah sat there in the front of the plane, they're just going, and suddenly the plane starts going through turbulence. Everybody starts freaking out. Kevin and Sarah just look at each other and smile.
Meanwhile, Callum's levitating in the middle aisle.
Yeah.
Was that effective when I did that? I'd say that.
And the pilots just go to sleep.
That was good. That was good audio. Record that later.
It's kind of weird, creepy though. It's like, whoa, something's wrong.
It was meant to be like throat singing, like.
Somewhere between. There you go. I'm doing more of like a crackle.
No, I can't do it. I need to work on that.
I can't do it either. I need to work on it too.
This is actually hey, but I'll give you some Sarah McLachlan though.
Does everybody
sing, but I could.
Remember when we were kids, there was this commercial for the Tootsie Pop, and the guy would go up to Mr. Owl. So I want to redo that whole thing, and the kid goes up to Mr. Toad, and he says, "Mr. Toad, how many licks does it take to get to the center of the universe?" And the toad says 3. And so the kid picks up the toad and he goes 1, 2, 3, licks the toad 3 times. And then his head cracks like the Tootsie Roll. And then like all this like rainbows and stars start coming out of the top of his head.
and then at the end, it can come up and say, winners don't do drugs. This is your brain on
pharmaceutical drugs.
While the kid is tripping, the toad's tongue comes out and eats the kid.
Welcome to the center.
Welcome to the center.
My universe.
Brought to you by Dare. Brought to you by Dare.
Welcome to the Toad Zone.
Can I just say that Kevin's been talking about this for like a week now?
What, licking the toad?
This like that we're gonna do this. I promised him once we were settled we would film this. This
licking the
animated
toad
thing, yeah, the licking the toad thing.
It's old style animation. We have to pull up the original and make it look as much like the original as possible.
Yes, definitely.
Because if we use that kid, we won't get any copyright strikes. It's been 30 years.
So,
yeah, there you go.
I have a question. I have a question for anybody that likes psychedelic drugs and South Park.
On South Park, they're talking about licking the toads, and in that episode, they go, "Oh yeah, Mr. Garrison." Oh no, it's not Mr. Garrison, is it? It's the therapist, Mr. Mackey, and he says about cat urine and getting the cats to pee, and so they all like Kenny gets addicted to cat urine, and they ban cats, and Cartman locks all the cats in his attic, doesn't he? And then he chucks a diary to one and goes, "Here, write a diary."
Oh,
yeah.
Lordy.
Is there any truth? Is there any truth behind this?
Okay, really quick.
Behind this cat urine thing.
Toxoplasmosis.
Urine in general.
What about how many of you guys know about what toxoplasmosis is?
That sounds like something with.
Look it up. This is fascinating. They're saying they're literally more or less that cats rule the world. So it's a I thought it was in their poop, but I think it is in their urine. It is in their urine. Remember this thing? This is why pregnant women aren't supposed to be changing litter boxes.
Yeah,
I believe it's not like ammonia.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Yeah, pregnant women aren't meant to go near.
They're trying to control the population.
So that's the thing. So this releases it like if a mouse gets infected with toxoplasmosis, it will actually throw itself at the cat to try to. Well, I don't know exactly. They don't know, but more or less it just like puts itself like to be eaten. So like it's like this cat has this thing that says like, come to me, like.
Yeah, and they've been saying that cats have got they hypnotize humans. It's Futurama
meow with
kind
humans.
of
What if they're systematically taking out people that don't like cats?
If you know what they're doing, you just do it back to them.
That's helpful.
See, I'm cool with cats. Cats love me. Cats love me, and I love cats. So it's
all the parasite people watching right now are like throwing up in their mouths a little bit. Like, oh my god, cats, parasites. I'll be right back.
Little drone will come up to you and a little aerosol injection in the air in front of you. Better wear a mask.
GMO mozzies.
What would be more effective is a little flying drone that basically dive bombs like a little poison dart, with just a little, because they could all they have to do is just have a little bit of graphene,
Man,
and then it can go into your body.
I said, are you working? You said you like the cats. Are you working for them or what?
What? I don't know, man.
Cats are watching this live stream right now.
He's gone over to the cat side.
We better change to Pig Latin.
Listen, dude, I can't help it. I like pussy.
I was coming home from a gig the other day, and I was going home just to get something and come back to the gig. And then as I was leaving the venue, a black cat went across my path. And then as I was driving home, a black cat crossed the road. And as I was driving on the way back, another black cat crossed the road. So that was three.
I don't see that as bad luck.
It's all good.
I know. I see that as good luck, not bad. I see white cats are bad luck. If a white cat crosses your path, it's bad luck. That's how I used to think about it. It was white cat, like it was inverted. White cats were bad luck. Black cats were good luck.
If it's a belief, well, so shall it be, you know.
Oh, and maybe it works like
that's thing,
magpies: 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl. Maybe you're going to meet a girl. Maybe a girl's going to come into your life, or maybe you're going to start identifying as a girl. I don't know, man. You know, this is 2022.
A girl is going to come into your life means a totally different thing now.
Yep.
What a world. What a world. In a world.
Jenkum. Where have I heard that? Jenkum. Cheesy. Oh, that's it. Yeah. That Jolly Man knows. Jolly Man knows. Cheese in. That's it. Hey, man. Let's go cheese. Anamita Mascaria.
Fly Galaxy. Activated 3P, yeah. So, I mean, that's like there's horse P, but also your own P. So if you're looping it, it's the second time that some drugs can be activated.
When you say looping it, do you mean drinking your own urine?
Yeah. So you would take the drug or whatever, pee that out and drink that.
Yeah, like
I bet nobody ever told you to do that.
There's a lot of alchemy happening in your own body, and this is what the alchemists understand as well. As your
I wonder,
dude,
I wonder what would have happened had every time I did ecstasy, I drank my own pee. How long would I have stayed fucked for?
This is the
I mean, you can see it happens with your own emotions and stuff as well. So if you have a really shit day and you drink your pee, those emotions will come back. It's like it's a biofeedback program. What you've done here in doing that.
See,
but
Santa,
then also think about other people. Yeah.
Santa fed the mushrooms to the reindeer. After that he collected the reindeer piss.
Golden pee.
The reindeer piss, and then he saw the elves, and then he told the elves to make the toys, and then he flew around the world.
Woo.
But he would have, if he would have just ate the mushrooms straight away, he would have spent too much time throwing up. So the reindeer are key.
Red Eye, have you ever actually managed it? Right, it's because I had an issue with my urine for quite a few years. There was something wrong, and then Sarah put me onto apple cider vinegar, and I took apple cider vinegar and it sorted it out straight away. And like, there's been a couple of times when I've thought to myself, do you know what? That doesn't look too bad. Like maybe I could try that, but I've never actually been able to bring myself to do it. So have you ever actually done it? Have you ever actually tried it? Because I know that Dave Murphy healed himself with his urine. He healed himself with urine therapy. And he was sick.
Did he have cancer?
Sorry.
Well, the last thing I heard too, he had a case of like mold, like the caravan he was staying in was black mold. And what he did, like he went to the doctors just to get a nebulizer. And so he nebulized his own pee to breathe it in as well.
Interesting.
How the fuck do you nebulize your own pee?
I tell you, you probably don't even need to do that. But I actually lived in a house. Funny enough, I had very little of a reaction, but my ex was going through like a lot of different health issues, and we went rock hounding, and he cut his leg open in the river, like in fall, and it was a river where cows like waded in all the time, so it was nasty, right? And we fought this infection forever, and I ended up going in a more natural route. I ended up doing all probiotics and like all the fight it on the opposite direction, and that's how we finally. The funny thing is, he got C. diff. I never got the C. diff. That's one of the most highly contagious bacteria you can get. And
C. diff just makes you shite a lot, doesn't it?
And he had it for almost 2. He had it for almost 2 years, and they kept
tell me you had a fecal transfer.
And he knows.
There's a reason why that bacteria.
Did you have a fecal transplant?
No, I just recycled his system. I just made him like lay off sugars for a while, and then I put him on a alkaline diet, and I had him take probiotics. Got rid of it in a couple months.
Who the fuck thought of fecal transfers?
Here's the other thing I want to talk about is that, and this is not cure-all advice, just want to make that clear, but I had a UTI. I started getting I don't want to tell the story of why, but I started getting a fever. And it
just
was really
for the
bad.
benefit of those people listening, a UTI is not a unique train incident.
Urinary tract infection.
Urinary tract infection, and it can actually be deadly if you can get a fever. It turns into sepsis in the body, and it can be really bad. Oh, do you guys hear the kettle? Kettle.
They got the coolest kettle, man. It's a proper, like a proper kettle. I need another coffee now as well. So
1 hour.
We've been going for an hour. Should we just do a quick coffee break?
Coffee break.
We continue that story. Tell Sarah, don't just press pause on that story. We're going to take a quick coffee break. All right? She can't hear us. Right, Sarah, just pause on that story. We're going to take a quick coffee break because we've been going for an hour, and that kettle boiling has made us all want to make coffee.
And everybody, I want you to take this time to stretch. This is that 1 hour mark. Also, in a little bit when we come back, I would like to do Q&A healing talk with Callum. So get your questions ready. This is going to be a taste of partly what I'm hoping to do with our future content as well. I love it, guys. Thank you for doing this with me. And like I've said, stretching can be what feels good. Like, what area right now irritates you? Work at it to the point where you get a little bit of a pain.
Don't do too much.
Pain.
Yeah.
Pain,
don't do too much.
Not when it's pinching, then you're probably going in the wrong direction. You need to release it on the other side. So often I always say, if you're going to stretch this way, make sure you also stretch the opposite way. Oh, that feels so good. It's amazing how good it feels. You're like, I stretched, I'm good. And then when you actually do it, you're like, oh, yeah. Mamacita. Don't forget to stretch your pecs. A lot of people don't like this area. It gets very tense, and your lymph nodes are right up in here. You want to make sure you have good flow so that, and if you've ever heard of dry brushing, it's a technique where you very lightly, you take a wood comb, fine hairs, and you very lightly brush up your skin this way, and you can do it with your face, and it's all the idea. Then you want to get that down to the lymph nodes or the lymph nodes.
Energy focus.
Your gut and you
towards your heart.
Dogs drink urine. Dogs drink their own urine. They'll drink other dogs' urine. Dogs drink urine, so and they eat poop as well. Dogs eat poop because but only when they smell the protein. If there's a high protein diet, they like human poop. Dogs like human poop more than dog poop. Yeah. But anyway, on that beautiful note,
a dog posting toilet.
On that beautiful note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break so that we can go and make some coffee and stuff.
Right.
And we'll be back. Please enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you very shortly.
Bye.
The government redirected some of my anger towards the mothership. trying to guess which shell live in hell sleeps under when the grand scheme plan keeps all these people wondering why we still running in place, frustrated. Pride is mistaken for hate, it's upgraded. I got a little breath left, let's suffocate it. Pointed the epiphanies and call them all drug related. The time I spent with my life on bent, trying to find the friends inside my head. Must have disengaged every phase and stage of my I'm coming of age. My unofficial auto bio will be accompanied with tips on how to smile. Cause I found that when they don't see you frown, they never know that you're a threat and they don't sweat you when you come around. So who's gonna be my next door savior? Step up to your neighbor and do me a favor. Take off the mask, let it all collapse. Empty the pack and watch your wings grow back. They want us to fight, but we just wanna get high. Work all day, all night, trying to get fly. When I get some money, I'ma buy me some time. I can't fight your war until I'm finished with mine. They want us to fight, but we just wanna get high. Work all day, all night, trying to get fly. When I get some money, I'ma buy me some time. I can't fight your war until I'm finished with mine. Society becomes jealousy, intimacy becomes intensity. Say it with a smile like it's meant to be, and all of a sudden, boom, American family. And I can tell when you're mad at your past, because you tend to take them turns just a little too fast. I can tell how you push your foot on the gas, that you already knew that you was gonna finish last. Slow it down and take a little time to look up at them clouds with the fake silver lining. Up in a tree knowing damn well you'll never reach the top, but you don't stop, you keep climbing. Well, okay, it's settled. No more nights in this weed and thorn infested metal. From this day forth, only forward I pedal. Get the memo, I'm cutting the strings to pedal. Shuffle the cards and let's argue. Rooted in between the computer games and cartoons. Stop and watch us all get lost between God and a shot of scotch. Let's get fly. Want us to fight, but we just wanna get high. Work all day, all night, trying to get fly. When I get some money, I'ma buy me some time. I can't fight your war until I'm finished with mine. They want us to fight, but we just wanna get high. Work all day, all night, trying to get fly. When I get some money, I'ma buy me some time. I can't fight your war until I'm finished with mine.
few drinks and smoke a joint, Bubbles? Yes.
It's just one ant.
Yeah, boy. Big puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant. Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this?
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Resist. Are you an actor or an activist? It's more than your right to insist. Refuse to the government admits. Take a risk. Raise your fist. Unite people, army enlist. Rebel music transmit like this. Proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst. Refuse. FBI. All they forced to lie. Suspected spies. Clientele. Tomahawks. Scorch the sky. White collar crime. Immortalize Yusef. Careful what you rep of the new left. Only a few left. Got the bureau doing Mueller two-step. Fire trap. Warrants for the wiretaps. Equal employer op. Higher apps. Read between the lines. Redefine. Enlist people army marching across a hard march. Dollar scams. Saudi royal fam. Oil contraband. Fun off the Taliban. Atomic blue. Balmy move. Christian and Islamic fuse. Attend more funerals than barbecues. Niggas died and fill them on the shoes. Know your God. The con is on if you're confused. Resist. Are you an actor or an activist? It's more than your right to insist. Refuse to the government admits. Take a risk. Raise your fist. Unite people, army enlist. Rebel music transmit like this. Proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst. Refuse the hate made. Push the fear past tear gas. Flashbang grenades. Demonstrate. Awareness generate protests and disregard the pepper spray. Don't stop. Overthrow the legislature. Till they pay us reparations every day. Filthy pigs. Murderers. The hate made. Maybe you heard of us. Revenge for the engineered virus. Slit their eyelids. Carve an image in their iris. So slaughter bloodshed. Brutalizing. The truth rises. The CIA trained to crash test pilots. So feel wise. Don't believe. Cause they don't want you to see through the real eyes. So realize. Don't accept the realize. Refuse. Resist. Are you an actor or an activist? It's more than your right to insist. Refuse to the government admits. Take a risk. Raise your fist. Unite people, army enlist. Rebel music transmit like this. Proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst. Refuse. Resist. Are you an actor or an activist? It's more than your right to insist. Refuse to the government admits. Take a risk. Raise your fist. Unite people, army enlist. Rebel music transmit like this. Proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst. Refuse.
Perfect. Yes. This is awesome.
Everybody Illuminati confirmed.
Well programmed.
Double Illuminati. Double upside down.
Red eye, same as me, mate.
Swing of the head. Up and down. Listen as the piano plays the music. Exercise just for the head and throw head back. Up and down. Exercise just for the head. Flashlight and the left. Exercise just for the head and throw head back. just for the head. Flash white.
I'm Battle Cat.
La la la. I love that part. Okay. Oh, what am I hearing in the background?
Oh, music.
That's Jerry.
What's the music in the background?
Oh. It's not uncommon to come up on Kevin and him just listen to some random Jerry.
It's Jerry Church. It's not some
Jerry
random.
Church.
It's Sunday,
I'm
man.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think now is a wonderful time to completely change the subject and to talk about something incredibly interesting.
Weren't we going on with the pee story? Oh, maybe not.
No, that was the.
We can leave the pee.
That was the pee break, man. That was the pee break.
No, I want to do that, and also I wanted to talk about this too because I wanted to show some good stuff on. Let's talk more health talk, and then we gotta maybe this would be a good way to segue into some Callum talk, Callum time talk.
Actually, I'm talking about the pie grid thing that we said we were going to chat about.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so then after this, we'll segue. We'll go back into health talk. Go ahead, Richie. Thank you, Leafy, for sharing this with us too. By the way.
Well, let's see what the chat room wants to do. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to carry on talking about health and wellness, or would you like some really fucking interesting breadcrumbs that hopefully Campbell will be talking about soon, and going into more detail about? Press 1 if you'd like to talk about health.
The way he worded that was like
really fucking.
I got intrigued with the word hybrid myself. So.
Why don't we go ahead and share this with us, and then we can always go back to health because health is always an open topic. So, right?
Everything involves it.
Right?
So, the volume's not very good on this. I haven't had a chance to. I've downloaded it, but I haven't had a chance to actually do anything with the volume yet. But this map, I don't know how many people have ever seen a map like this before. Oh, for crying out loud. Paul Cook said something.
Overhead is Sumeria.
This link is courtesy of Leafy.
Babylon.
I've forwarded it on to Cam.
The pie grid is the 357-degree grid that lays out all the stone circles across
The 370-degree grid that lays out all the stone circles.
Can you see that?
Right, the way these lines intersect and what they've got written up next to it and everything, like, I've never seen a map like this before in my life.
So you've heard of a ley line?
Corley, not quarterly, Corley. Halfly and wholly. What do you think that is with regard to? Is this about harvest? What on earth do these equations mean? What is this? Is it about the sea? Is it about harvest? 17th of a great circle north of the equator, Aylesbury, 17th, 1/17 the Great Circle north of the Great Pyramid, Stonehenge.
One-seventh of the Great Circle north of the equator.
Oh, 1/7, not 1/17.
Of a Great Circle north of the Great Pyramid, Stonehenge.
Look, does anybody see that? Egypt. Why would we have Egypt and Adam's something or other? Do you know what these are? All of these blue dots are significant Roman ruins. If I remember correctly, that's what that means. They're significant Roman ruins. Or multiple layers, I think they say.
I've been all around the south of England, 120 years, to the sacred sites. I don't have a...
Look at that line. Look at that straight line. Straight across, diagonally across.
Vast knowledge of the sacred sites, but what I do have is a theoretical understanding of how it is that this line, which is a ley line, a straight line, the longest straight line that one can draw in the British Isles, this line, the Michael line, and the Michael and Mary line, Michael and Mary.
Look at that. How that enters that X marks the spot. I wonder what's there.
With energy currents, they are like.
Yeah, you should throw the link in the chat as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight
I'll
line
do that.
made of churches is the ley line with the node points, and there are 21 node points across this line here. Glastonbury Tor is here, and this way, and Stonehenge is below, but Avebury is part of the Michael and Mary Earth energy currents.
A link to this video in the
Avebury
chat.
is the cathedral. Stonehenge is the church, but Stonehenge has more worldwide fame. So you can see here, there's the 33rd degree, which comes from the 360 degree modern grid, and there's also the 11th degree.
The 11th degree. Why would they need to mark the 11th degree and the 33rd degree? Hey?
The two together make the rungs of a ladder. So there are 3 villages, here, here, and here, called Jacob's Ladder. This is the original Egypt, A and E together, combined. So this is the flagpole. And this is the flag. The flag covers Palestine, which means in Latin between the walls, the Hadrian Wall and the Antonine Wall.
So that was Palestine. And can you see the slight color change? It's like there is something, there's some sort of watermark type thing going on in that square. So that's the British flag.
So these walls we're taught in school were built 2,000 years ago by the Romans, who came in from Italy, invaded. There was a bit of a skirmish up here, so they built one wall, built another wall, keep them out. That's our history, right? Everybody born in the sort of 50s, 60s, 70s onwards, presumably, who knows what they're teaching the kids, knows that. That's history, right? You might not be a historical expert, but you have got some idea. So when someone comes along and says, actually, that's all quite possibly just totally made up as of only a few hundred years ago, it's a bit of a shock. And nobody likes shocks. Nobody likes to be wrong. Nobody likes to be laughed at. And nobody wishes to...
Right, there you go. Mega site. Multiple pre-Roman constructs. Every single one of these is a mega site. And look at that. All of these megasites, Roman. Well, they're calling them Roman.
Nice line.
They're calling them. Say again.
It said
on the right there. There's a nice line of them.
The blue ones are pre-Roman.
No, the blue ones are.
I thought it said pre-Roman megasites. The blue
did it
dots.
say pre?
I think it said pre-Roman megasites.
Shit, where is it?
No, I thought it just said megalithic sites or something.
Yeah.
Said something about Roman.
Pre-Roman constructs. He's right. He is right.
Yeah.
Pre-Roman constructs.
Hold a contrary
Yeah.
view.
Well spotted, mate.
Yeah.
And that's just normal human nature. So the issue
So
is
pre-Roman sites, like
is that the Roman stuff is in red, right? Is that what it said? There's a red circle
Roman
as well.
city. It says it says
Rome.
Roman city, Roman city or villa.
Red man. It's funny that's lined up.
But when you study the Roman history, mostly what you find is that they do repairs on things like the aqueducts, but they already existed.
Yeah. And they apply facades as well.
Right. So they were credited with the repairs.
So, I mean, we could sit here and watch the whole video, but I'm not sure what use it will do. The link is in the chat to the video. I'm going to watch it over and over again. What would be more useful is if I had access to that map and we could sit here and scour over the map ourselves. But unfortunately, the only access we have to the map is this footage. So it makes it difficult to, we can sit and pause and scrutinize. What I did do, actually, I forgot. So there is this part in here where he's talking about, I think it's called Jaffa, or it's either Jaffa or Jaffa, and it's up in near Edinburgh, up in Scotland, right? And it's an ancient Egyptian, like this is an Egyptian name, and it's sort of Egyptian history, but it's up in Scotland. So I thought I'll go and have a look and see on Google Earth and see if we can see any star fort there or anything. And I think there's a star fort there. Don't know if this is the. Joppa, that's it, Joppa. Can you see this? Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So there's Joppa. And here's this island just off Joppa. You think that's got star fort qualities?
Yeah, and even the coast of it is like
Yeah.
pointed.
Yep. And that would make sense, right? Because they have There's probably another one over here.
Well, that whole bay is like a star. Look at the bay. Zoom out. Keep going out. Oh, see how the bay, when you zoom in, it's like it's almost like it's a hexagon. See? It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides.
Here,
right?
in here.
Yeah,
Yeah, one. Yeah. Look, yeah.
So it looks like they terraformed that whole bay, which would probably
And
mean there was stars.
they've blurred the
all
water. They've blurred the water as well. There's going to be all of this underneath here.
Well, and you think about maybe the sea level down, 80 feet lower, and you would see something entirely different.
Oh my God. Where's your head gone? The zombie apocalypse started ages ago, man. Look. The headless horseman lost his horse. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Perfectly straight. So yeah, that was just going because it was because of the name Joppa. You know, they're associating. Basically, this is Egypt, and it's this connection between the Knights Templar. When the Knights Templar came over, it's this idea that Egypt was here before it was in Egypt. Like, because Egypt was called Kemet, wasn't it? Egypt was Kemet before. It wasn't called Egypt. It was called Kemet.
Yeah.
So what if Egypt originated in Scotland, or in the UK? It's this this idea of rulers, of people that are ruling over it and worshipped by everybody else. Because that's the narrative we've been given about Egypt, is that these pharaohs were worshipped by the people so much that the people, well, there's two different stories about the slaves, and like one was that they jumped at the chance to work on the pyramid, and one was that they were actually enforced to. But it makes much more sense that they would jump at the chance to build the pyramid because it's an opportunity to work. Everybody, people, we're not all lazy bastards. That's something that they've created. They've created lazy bastards because really we're all industrious. We want to do things. We want to keep active and
think about the narrative with robots right now. Well, a robot would be able to do that better. A robot would be more efficient. But that is only true in a society where we continue to be about quantity over quality. That is the only reason you would ever need robots. And even still, that's the argument. You will literally kill the human race, because and from a health care standpoint of what I watched, as soon as you start to become immobile, and that's why they're talking about like just hooking you up so that virtually you're living in another world, so that you feel like you're walking and running and flying, but really you're sitting in a chair and your Big Mac's being like, vaporized in front of you.
You're sat there getting bigger and bigger. You with your ass slowly making it like a fucking muffin top over the edge.
Fupa. Call that a fupa. I can show you a Halloween character I made up, and
Squirrel Sniper, mate.
had that
All the
adorned.
healing energy to you, dude. Squirrel Sniper's not doing too well. It's got the man flu.
Oh, I don't feel pity for you because that's not a good thing to do. So when I just went, I feel for you, and I wish you the most healing and best vibes ever.
I talked
you
to
might be
daughter.
Detoxing. You talked to your daughter?
Yeah, and she got the flu after I left there. They got the flu, and she ended up having to go in the hospital for a day and a half. It was that bad. But it was just like some, like they said, a bad strain of flu came through. I'm sure.
I personally, honestly, I think that Americans are very big and overreacting when it comes to flu, because they're like going off to hospital and all that. It's really not fucking necessary. You can carry a fever of 105 for 3 days, no problem, and you don't need to go to hospital. Just because you feel like you're going to die doesn't mean you are going to die.
No, she was hallucinating. She had such a high fever.
Yeah, but even then, I've hallucinated because my fever's so fucking high. But nobody rushed me off the hospital. It's like it does seem like Americans.
I do have an example of that too with my ex, because he would even admit he was a hypochondriac. He actually would stop telling me that he was going to the hospital because I would try to, more or less talk him out of it. But one time and I know he broke a really high fever, and he was telling me he was hallucinating and the shivers. And I was actually getting ready, considering to take him to the hospital, but we were driving back from somewhere. So we were in the middle of nowhere, so I'm trying to rush back as quickly as I can.
All you've got to do is try and bring the temperature down.
That's all
do in the hospital.
No, actually in that situation, I had to bundle him. I had to overly warm him up because he was to the point where he was so low. So I did that. I just combated it, and I just had him drink really small amounts of water at a time and nothing else. And then he broke it, and he was good. And this is what I was going to get into my little story. I know we're getting back into health real quick, but I had a severe UTI, and I was running a fever, and I was like, I could feel it. I could feel it getting really bad. And I was like, okay, I was about to go to the hospital. And then I immediately was like, okay, I'm going to jump on apple cider vinegar, because it immediately starts flushing it out. And that was amazing. That immediately helped. And then I had to back it up with a bunch of like cranberry. And that's really all I did was apple cider vinegar. I did a larger dose. Like I took like 4 tablespoons instead of 2. And then I was taking like a cranberry supplement and drinking 100% cranberry juice. And I did that for like a week, and it was gone within a few days. But I continued that up to keep up the health of it. And I knew eating wise, I wasn't eating good. I was eating a lot of fried food, and I was so it was easy for that infection to take hold.
And that if the cranberry juice was absolutely like, if you juiced the cranberries yourself, and it came from fresh cranberries, it would be even more effective.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It would be so much more effective because it's
But let's just keep in mind that some people have to do what they have to do. So like when we talk about going to the hospital, because a lot of our people here have had to make decisions like that too. And so what it kind of ends up starting, it's like why you still take pain meds, Richie, because we are very still much like that is the only option. If we're given a situation where we don't have access and we're forced to face it, that's where we can slowly change our mindsets so that it's not as serious or as urgent. But it takes time. And then let's talk about it being a mental thing, right? Like you are more likely to die from the stress of thinking you're going to die than actually what's causing the issue.
Yeah, it comes down to the confidence and of knowing your own body as well. So if it's something you don't know that's happening, if you have no idea what's happening to you, that's usually fear is what sets in for people. And it's the fear itself that will get them searching for that option outside of them. But a lot of these things, most of the time it's a matter of letting it run its course, letting your body run its course. You may feel like whatever, but just that stopping and allowing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. There's a reason your body increases the temperature. It's to kill off the fucking shit that it will destroy whatever it is. It's helping you. It's not going. Your body is not trying to kill you. This is the trouble. Is people
to flush things out.
It's trying to flush things, and it's only doing it because it can.
This coincides with making us seem like so fragile and weaker than we are.
Yeah,
they make it sound like it's so easy to kill us. You remember all that that kind of dialogue?
Well, this idea that we can even
die. It's not that
just this
easy.
this idea that we
that
can
easy
even fucking die.
Yeah,
we've all been programmed with this idea that we can die, and that we absolutely like. What if, seriously, I'm being absolutely serious. What if it is purely down to perception? And if you absolutely 100% perceive yourself to be immortal, you are immortal. What if it's that simple?
I think there's a group influence as well in terms of the consciousness that influences this as well.
Because but the difference between a subjective and an objective reality, like because a subjective reality.
So looking at that, I would say it's very possible to extend your life. You know,
I think we're doing it as we speak. I'll be honest. I think we're doing it as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely. In becoming aware of these things, it releases those beliefs that we have. When you're just questioning it, that belief goes down that notch, right? Going, oh, well, now there is the possibility for me to live, you know, to not set any number, to not work within those boundaries and just see what happens.
I'm going for 140. I'm just going
we're
for
to Ecuador. I'm like, why not? Why
well, we've got a 100-year plan.
I'm planning on growing to 6'3".
Listen, it's starting off as a 100-year plan. In 50 years' time, we're going to extend it to 200 years. And then by the time we get to 200 years, we will have extended it to a 500-year plan. But at the moment, we've got a 100-year plan, you know, for Ecuador. So I'm 45. I'm going to be here in 95 years' time.
That's how I feel, and I love how you said that too, because I love our 100-year plan, and we're gonna we'll have that, guys. We'll have that.
For me, it's just open. Like, you know, even if there's a death or whatever tomorrow, that's fine with me. It's like the journey is what it is. Yeah, so, you know, for me, it's not like having to hold, because that's this immortal thing that they've set into this society as well. Where, you know, and that's part of this AI thing, like living in a machine forever sort of thing. But for me, that's stuck. That's not moving on after the, you know, having an experience, moving on to the next experience, moving on to the next experience.
You got to live on the edge a little bit,
change.
And there we are with letting go, with actually being able to let go of things, knowing when it's time to let go of something.
Yeah,
that's the thing, isn't it? Knowing when it's time to let go, to say, yeah. That's
so
close that chapter.
This is a good example. So I love the Oregon coast, but what is the Oregon coast always at risk for? The big one, right? Well, coming out here, there's actually been a lot of uptick in earthquake activity, like 7.0s, and like pushing the chance that, you know, we could have a bigger one here. So it was sort of like Kevin and I watched a Dutch Sense like update, you know, and we evaluated it, and we're like, all right, let's go. But like, I've thought about that. Like, I come out here every time, and I go on these hikes all by myself. I have no cell phone service at any point. And I even think about, like, could I run out of here? Is in some cases, is it even worth running out of here? You know, or should I just let it happen? And so that's kind of this thing that I've, you know, that's sort of like the fun you kind of play with when you come out here every time. Because like right now, where this house is, it would just get wiped out because we're like in this inlet, you know. And there's really not, you have to kind of get up the road and then get up, because otherwise it's like a bog in between. So you can't really get up the hill. So it's sort of like, and we picked this house. Like we looked at it, we looked at this other one, and we're like, this one. Yeah.
If there's a bog, it means it's dipped again. You know, it's actually lower.
I'm going to try to go out in the backyard actually to show you guys. But Yeah, and honestly, I don't feel it. I don't feel it at all. I don't feel that is what's going to happen. I think our purpose is something else, but it's good to like, because that's about living in the now. You know, we it's because right, when we live in the future, we get anxious.
Exactly where I need to be now.
Yep, and I'm guilty of that with what our goal is right now, because I'm really excited about what we're doing, but as you guys haven't really been disclosed to, it's not even daunting. It's not the right word, but it's like, well, there's like, to me, it's sort of like I felt like there was a lot of weight. Like I had to make, it's about myself, but it was sort of like part of that is our group coming and us all like picking up, and really, so it was, I guess, daunting in that way, but there's more to it than that, like I'm kind of rambling, but
it's a huge commitment. It's a huge commitment, and the shoulders are, the bulk of the weight is going to be on your shoulders, and certainly, like in certain respects, it's how much of the weight is being, distributed, trying to carry this idea forward. And because of the financial implications of it, just the way that everything is at the moment, you're actually bearing all the weight of it at the moment. So it's going to be, naturally, it's going to be like, hang on a second,
and it's from my past, so it's learning, and because this came on so quickly, so it's like learning to make sure I follow the same the same steps I need to make sure that this is the right steps.
Make sure you don't make the mistakes that you've made in the past. Don't make the same mistakes as you have in the past.
So like that's why what's been really wonderful with Kevin and Richie with this project is like I was able to really explain to them this and set that intent down right away to say, hey, listen, like these are just like I just need a few parameters. I'm very open, but these are my little boundaries I needed, and so they know that, and they're helping me make it happen. It's nice. It's nice to having Kevin here. I've talked about this, but like it's like we've known each other for years. Like we're definitely family, and like just the little ways that we help each other out. Like. Yeah, you might see me bring him coffee, but he's like the first thing this morning he like silently was grinding the coffee because I hadn't quite gotten up yet, and he shoved it into the pillows to like, and I could hear it real faint, and I was laughing. I was like, wow, that's really quiet. I came out, I was like, I'm impressed. Anyway, but then and then we had coffee. So
that's I like that though, because that's the sort of thing I would have done. Because if it was a really not, it'd be like, oh fuck, I really want some coffee.
I know.
I'll shove it between these pillows. That it works.
We have this like separate room in this place, but I had locked the door, and so he couldn't get into it last night, or he could do a code, but he just timing wise, he's like, fuck it. So then he came back in. But I've been there because with my family too, I have this like set up so that I can grind the coffee quietly. It's all good. I love it, and I just really, I will say, you guys, I feel like as you start connecting with your tribe, so like doing this was so empowering. And like, I know not all of you are necessarily feeling like you want to come to Ecuador. Maybe you will visit, but then I would highly recommend like start finding that one person that you've been talking to online and go meet up and start your own little thing where you're at, because it's insanely empowering. Like it's partly why I haven't been on as much.
This is about coming together into families that we choose. We're getting to choose the tribe. We're getting to say, right, I want to be part of this tribe. I like this tribe, and it doesn't, because we've got lots of different tribes. We're not going to be fighting each other. We're going to be working together, because what we're trying to do is emulate what we think existed before, which is a whole bunch of fucking tribes that all lived separately, had their own cultures, but yet could still mix and and mingle with each other and trade with each other and exist on the same earthly plane, just in their own spaces. So that's all we're trying to do. is to create a space where people want to belong, want to feel like they belong, and want to feel like that they can, you know, that they want to contribute to it. Not that they just that they belong, that they want to come along and be part of the family, be part of the community, contribute to it in all different ways. Like one of the things that we've already laid this out in our manifesto kind of thing that we're still putting together at the moment, but saying there'll be a council, and the council will, like, as the group grows, it's the roots, but yeah, from the what will manage over the sort of day-to-day or week-to-week disputes or issues or whatever will be like there'll be a council meeting, and as it gets bigger, as the community gets bigger, then we want people from the community to, on a sort of rotary basis, everybody has to have a go on the council. Every single person has to, at one point, do at least 3 or 6 months working on the council, so they understand the work that goes behind the community, you know, so they understand how everything works, how everything ticks, and so everybody knows what's going on all the time, you know, and then and everybody gets to contribute their ideas and to contribute their time, and those people that don't want to do that, and they don't want to work, and they don't want to contribute, well, they can go somewhere else. They don't have to be part of the community, but nobody's going to come and leech off the community. It's going to be a place where everybody, in some way, not everybody will be able to communicate, contribute in the same way. You know, younger people can do harder work than elderly people. So, you know, it's got to be
yeah, and more like apprentice type opportunities, even if we have to bring people in to teach somebody how to do something, you know, because there's so many resources where we're going to be. There's so many, you know, like, honestly, if it ended up just being me, Richie, and Kevin out there, we could more or less build what we're talking about with already the resources and people there. But we just see this becoming like a stepping stone where, you know, some will come, like we've talked about, but others will be able to build their own based off of, hopefully, as a platform, or just to like get the inspiration. I mean, we're talking about all these other options that we can all start looking into right now. And you should be empowered with people like Beth Martins, who's really like, you know, it's not necessarily maybe 100% the rules and laws that we would follow, but like at the end of the day, like the structure, it makes so much sense and it's quite simple. And so it's important for us to listen to this and take from it whether you're going to go down that road or not. And the only reason we're actually considering not doing a PMA anymore is because it doesn't really hold credence in Ecuador. There's not really a law structure set up where we can write up this document and say, and we're not like, here to take the land. We're here to give it back to the indigenous. Spain, so like a trust is really what we're looking at. And if anything,
in Spain, they recognize private members associations. They recognize associations as, you know, you can have your own rules within that area. You can have your own rules. But you know, it's the trust thing is about exactly. I mean, what they've twisted it. They've twisted trusts. They use them in a secretive, you know, manipulative way to hide their assets and hide their control. But if a trust is actually done in the right way by the right people, it's the best way, because it's no one person has control over everything. No one person is the beneficiary. You know, you have your the trusted people that manage the trust because they're trusted, the trustees, but the beneficiaries, you know, the beneficiaries in our instance is going to be members of the community. Everybody who's part of our community will be a beneficiary of our trust, basically. And it puts it out of reach, totally out of reach of any government, or, you know, that's why they use them. That's why they use trusts, because you can't touch them. You can't touch them. They can't touch them. is what I mean. But circling back to this Kingdom of Pineal thing, without going and watching what he's talking about, I'll give you the roots of it. Basically, in 1666, Charles II signed an act into the Sestui law that stated under international admiralty law, so it applies to everyone, stated basically that we're all lost at sea after 7 years, or for 7 years or something. But like, that's why we're called masters. That's why, you know, as men, when we're little boys, they don't do it anymore, but they used to call you master. I would be Master Avery, and, you know, Master Refried, Master Wilkinson. They don't do that anymore. They still, I think maybe they still do it in private schools, in the, you know, in the top elite schools, maybe they still do it. But
when I was young, I had a friend named Bates, and he was glad.
Yeah, man, I would have been Master Bates, absolutely. Right. Every morning. I used to, but
and we went there.
Well, I did. His name was Doug Bates. You would have been Master Bates. We always said that. We were like, "Aren't you glad that we don't do that anymore?"
Oh shit,
Master Bates.
So this idea that basically it was in 2020, no, in 2026, that will be 360 years since the act was established by Charles II. Now we've got Charles III coming in. He's going to be king in 2026 when they because 360 degrees to a circle. So basically it's taken a full revolution, and now it needs to be reset. So in 2020, they start the reset. They did this. The last time they did this was during the Black Plague. It was during a pandemic. The last time, 360 years ago, was during a pandemic. So they've got a pandemic again. They're writing all these new acts that not one of us has gone and read. None of us have read the Coronavirus Act, have we? None of us have read the accelerated tool CV19, whatever it is. All these different acts that they're putting in, they're enacting. We've got no idea what they say. They could be saying anything. And the whole point of the Sestui back in 1666 was it was written in French. So nobody would have understood it anyway, even if they had read it. If all we have to do to take control and get our sovereignty back as individuals is present evidence that cannot be disputed legally, so it's got 3 witnesses and they're professionals, and, you know, they're so like a doctor and a coroner and I don't know,
same thing, isn't it?
Whatever, right? to say that it's proof of life, to have a proof of life certificate, and then you use all the correct postal mechanics with all the documents that you've got. What if it's that simple to get our sovereignty back and to actually have some sort of authority when it comes to corporations?
Yeah.
To be able to stand in front of a corporation, you know, to be able to stand there and say, what? Obviously, it will always end up going to court because the people on the street are dumb and they don't know what's going on. They're not capable. That's why, you know, they work for the police and whatever. I think everybody really, every single person listening to this needs to go, and don't wait for us to do it. Don't wait for us to go and find out what you have to do, and then so that we then tell you what you have to do, and then you maybe when you get round to it, you go and do it.
And also, it's going to be different.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
There's also not one path. You know,
there's many.
Depending on your situation and stuff as well. Because for myself, I just don't engage in any of the system as much as possible. So it's a matter of moving away. There's using the system or working within the system, and there's many different ways to do that. You know,
what I like the idea of, right? I like the idea of Jason Brashear's idea. I like the idea that we cause so many problems for the AIX that it basically spits us out into a little bubble where we're able to operate within our own partition of the simulacrum.
Just in manifestation, this is true. You know, just in manifestation. If you are what's your intent? You know, because that's really the ultimate of what's going on here. My intent is, you know, to live freely, and I just do that.
My intent,
you know, that doesn't involve paperwork for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
so that's a different path, but it's also a very fearful path for many people. Couldn't possibly do that. Don't even understand what I'm talking about there.
All I want is to live in a reality where, you know, wherever you go, it doesn't matter where you go. Everybody you see, whether you know them or not, is happy to see you, and you're happy to see them, and you know, and like everybody trusts each other, is able to trust each other because because we're in touch with each other's feelings. You know, if you're feeling off, it is the case for me now anyway, right? But I want, you know, I want it to be a time when everybody is able to read. Say again.
I got JB needs me to take a hand and go like this and just scoot her up, and then we're gonna go outside. But I am gonna take I'm gonna probably switch over. I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna get on my phone so I can show you guys what it looks like. I'll be right back.
What were you gonna say, Callum?
Let's have a look. Oh, she's going outside, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually got to walk I've got to take a short break. I've been waiting for a moment, but I'll just go do that real quick.
The moment is now.
Amongst yourselves.
You're going to go and walk the dog, man. Hey, listen, it's been 2 hours, so we can take another break. We can take another break now.
I need to have another discussion about pee with myself.
Yeah.
Private. So everybody can do that. Yeah, resolve.
Cool, man. We all know what's coming, what's just around the corner. We all know that we don't have long. We all know that we're connected. We all know that we have our soul tribes, possibly connected in every incarnation through the generations. And we are finding each other. And we are realizing that there is a better way. Going back to our roots, embracing ancient knowledge and ancient culture to live life better now. This is what we are doing with the Magic Treehouse. We are moving to Ecuador. We're going to work with the indigenous people, become self-sufficient, and no longer slaves to the system. Building a new community for a new way of life. The Magic Treehouse, Center for Healing.
makes the mainstream, but still don't do shit but bruise a dream. Use a new level of youth unseen. Truth is, the kids are losing steam, and to say it's a change to undermine it. We're talking about the most hated machine of all time. It's they're playing a game with most of our lives, but in November, who had the patience to stand in line and stop plain insane to come to realizing it's big pains like a flock of sheep talking cheap with a shotgun. Used to want a street fight like drunk, and I just pray that I don't lose my fucking head like Boston. I rock a black bandana, too tight, black man with the posture of a punk. Cast aside, cause I ain't right. I'm patriotic like a fox. I hung my flag high, but must have misunderstood when Beanie Siegel was like, hey yo, like that shit the fuck up. I ain't white and it's lost for that, so I use color safe bleeds at the laundromat and deal with it. You see how my squad react. We keep our hands warm with the damn Patriot Act. We burn pages. Matter of fact, we burn back. It was written as an outward attack. See, you can't fight a feeling. I feel terrified. There's a war against me, my friends, my fam, my pride, my life, my job, my rights, and like-minded folks I like they just don't mind it. So cool, right? They wag the dog, we cast the lipstick. What kind of city plumber thought that he could make his own fucking price fit? Well, they don't. I'm casting the drip. I'll practice holding my breath and stick with the shit. It goes hands up if you're broke, you'll find a way to stand up. Give it up if you're hoping and never give it up. Hands up if you're broke, you'll find a way to stand up. Give it up if you're hoping and never give it up. Hands up if you're broke, you'll find a way to stand up. Give it up if you're hoping and never give it up. Hands up if you're broke, you'll find a way to stand up. Give it up if you're hoping and never give it up. Stand up so we know who's here, who wanna open the machine and break against the gears. Come on, hands up if you're broke, you'll find a way to stand up. Give it up if you're hoping and never give it up. Stand up so we know who's here, who wanna open the machine and break against the gears. Hands up if you're broke, you'll find a way to stand up. Give it up if you're hoping and never give it up. Stand up so we know who's here, who wanna open the machine and break against the gears. Come on.
Imagine that you're playing this computer game.
Yes.
That is the introduction.
You're right. It's just one ant.
Yeah, boss. Big puny.
Puny? Say, let's pretend this grain is a puny little ant.
Did that hurt?
Nope.
Well, how about this one? Are you kidding? How about this? You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line.
Resist. Are you an actor or an activist? It's more than your right to insist. Refuse to the government admits. Take a risk, raise your fist. Unite people, army enlist. Rebel music transmit like this. Proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst. Refuse. FBI, all across the line. Suspected spies, clientele, tomahawk, scorch the sky. White collar crime, immortalize Yusef. Careful what you rep of the new left. Only a few left. Got the bureau doing Mueller two-step. Fire trap. No horns for the wiretaps. Equal employer op, higher apps. Read between the lines. Redefine. Enlist people, army marching across a hard march. Dollar scams. Saudi royal fam. Oil contraband. Fun off the Taliban. Atomic bloom. Army move. Christian and Islamic fuse. Attend more funerals than barbecue. Niggas died and fill them all the shoes. Know your God. The clown is on if you're confused. Resist. Are you an actor or an activist? It's more than your right to insist. Refuse to the government admits. Take a risk. Raise your fist. Unite people, army enlist. Rebel music transmit like this. Proving that the movement exists. Realize you're the catalyst. Refuse the hate that hate made. Push the fear past tear gas. Flashbang grenades. Demonstrate. Away.
Here we go.
Yo.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Pat.
You see us here, Sarah and JB. The Jitterbug.
So I got something to share. I went out for my break, and I was walking around looking at the rocks around the house, and I saw this rock, and it just kind of stuck out to me. So I grabbed it, and then I brought it in and finished smoking my joint. And I looked down at the rock, and it's got a natural, it's got it's a bunch of fossilized things inside of it. And one of the little pieces is a perfect, pictograph of a fox. And the other night I saw a pair of fox running by the house. So apparently I'm running with the fox in my totem at the moment. You can see it right there. See it?
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah,
man. I see it. Absolutely.
I saw the pair of fox just after the sun was going down, going out for a hunt. So yeah.
Did you see the fox and that's what made you pick it up, or did you pick
No, I
just
saw the rest of the rock. It just stuck out to me, so I picked it up and carried it. I was like, oh, this is a keeper for some reason, and I was like, whoa, Mr. Fox.
That is really cool. It does look like a fox, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's a real powerful medicine stone. When you pick up a stone and it's got a natural picture on it, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Sarah.
Oh, she's gone. So, what were we talking about?
I'm not sure. I'm just reading the chat talking about water. Water of life.
Oh yeah, there's outside. It's a sunny day. We're gonna get out. We're gonna get out today and maybe do a little bit of exploration.
18 years, guys. 18 years and 3 months old. Oh, little bit slow. It's because I didn't have this. She took a step where she shouldn't have taken a step. A little wobbly. Spine's a little crooked. She's doing really, really good.
Gorgeous.
She started RSO treatment. I think I was already saying that. So this is going to be, she actually took a 2-day break. We got a new kind, so that'll make her less sedated now. But we actually realized it was good for her to have some just serious R&R And then like I'll show you guys a video before we end today, and she's laying out, and and it's beautiful, sunny, and she's just loving it. So I actually have been cracking her back too, because with this treatment, it's like I can actually kind of work on this curvature, and you can't see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You can kind of, if you actually really look, you can see she's slightly going this way.
She's got a kink.
So I pick her back legs up. I can kind of show you maybe. And then sometimes it actually makes her pee, but I also can get a back crack out of it.
We should probably start getting her to sleep on the right side.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
We're good.
But yeah, I think we can encourage her not to sleep on that side of her body so that her spine is actually going against the curve.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think that is part of the problem now, because she's been favoring that leg. So I need her, now that she can put more weight on it again. So you can see she's limping, but she had an injury, and at 18 years, it takes a while for that to recover. So, but I also bend her the other way, and I get a pop out of her that way too. So. And it's low tide right now, so the water's real low, but otherwise that's filled with water.
Wow.
If you guys had smell-o-vision, you get hints of dead fish and cow manure. And then a little bit of your own sweat, maybe some dog pee.
We used to, one of the worst smells in the world is living next to a pig farm in the summer. A pig farm in the summer is one of the worst smells.
We're right next to a pig ranch, like 2 doors down.
We are, funny enough.
And then across
Jason,
the
how's
street
it going, mate?
is the wasabi garden. So there must be some symbiotic relationship between pigs and wasabi.
Should we tell people about our idea?
Yeah.
Wasabi and sriracha.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, we're gonna make when we get to Ecuador, we're gonna have like these hot sauces. And there's gonna be a sriracha wasabi hot sauce.
Yep.
It'll be the magia sriracha wasabi.
Good girl.
So if we feed our chickens wasabi, would they just naturally have hot wings?
Yeah.
We'll do some PMC, pepper modified chicken.
Pepper infused, man. Is wasabi a pepper or a chili?
It's a plant. It's like it's a low ground plant with like a big stem. I think it's supposed to be similar to yarrow.
Radish.
Yarrow. Yeah, radish. But it's like you get the wasabi from like the stalk of the plant, and it's like green, like you see it. I think they, other places will add food coloring to make it even more green, but I think as long as it's fresh, that's probably why they add the food coloring. They add preserves and food coloring to keep it that bright green color. Nobody wants a brown avocado, right? I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying,
outside,
lady, can you come here?
But you don't want the flesh to be brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Nice day. It's still raining here. It's crazy.
Richie, you're actually here right now. There's this lounge chair I have set out for you, and there's a book. I was gonna let you just take the day. You can just sit in that chair and look out at the bay, okay? That's your view for the day. You all are here right now with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you try to park off the road, because there's some traffic sometimes. So when you park, just park off the road.
Well, if you can hear the sounds in the background, that's actually dune buggies. There's this whole sand dune area over to the right, and that's a bunch of dune buggies out there racing around.
I can't hear anything.
And I saw a medic helicopter yesterday.
You see that over there? That's where they all
sounds like
camp.
good fun, man. That sounds like good fun.
You don't even need the dune buggies, man.
Is that a no trespassing sign there?
Yeah, because there's like a little property right here that this is the end of someone's property right here. But see, we go down to the water line too. This is just them, like, you can't even get in there. It's all swamp. They probably have a big trail, but
Friday night, a bunch of new people arrived at the house next door, and they were drinking and playing rave music with like this disco light till like late at night. And then the next morning they were playing country music. So they're very eclectic.
Okay, if that's the word you want to use, that's cute.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a bit of country.
I'm a little bit country.
Do you know what?
A little bit
maybe some old school bluegrass country.
And Western.
The Dixie Chicks helped me through prison, man.
All right.
I listened to a lot of Dixie Chicks going through prison.
I'll let you have whatever you need to have to sleep at night.
I'm a little bit country.
I'm a little bit rock and roll.
I'm a little bit techno rave.
I like what South Park did with that, man. That was a good episode.
Yeah, that was.
This is a friendly reminder to go barefoot.
I mean, you know, a South Park bad episode is actually a pretty good one.
All right, I'm going to scoot her inside. Actually,
I'm not sure if I've ever
I
seen
might set up a bed for her to
South Park.
sleep outside. Oh, we need to do breakfast. She hasn't had she just kind of got up, so we need to do. She's going to get some fancy rice that Kevin made that's all cultured and fresh and live. And then I'm going to throw in some sausage for fattiness.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get that herb I got yesterday and show people.
Oh, yeah. Do that. The horsetail. Maybe this would be a good time to. I have some videos I can show too when I get back on how to do like stretching on your face for sinus drainage. And so this might be a good time to segue into health talk with Callum.
Health talk with Callum. Oh, it looks like a mouse.
That looks like hamster bedding.
Yeah.
No, it's usually hanging from trees.
Is it like a moss? Is it a type of moss?
Yeah, it's a type of fungus.
And what's that good for?
This is an antimicrobial. Like if you were out in the woods and you gashed yourself on a limb, you know, and you didn't have any like gauze, like clean gauze, you can take this and you can put it right on a wound, you know, and you can also make a tea out of this.
You could pack a wound with it.
You can pack a wound with it. You can make a strong tea and put it topically on, you know, type of infection, like, you know, any kind of wound infection that's microbial. And you can also take it internally. So it's pretty useful. And then this is horsetail.
That's the horsetail.
Yeah. And this one, man, I'd have to look it up. It's got so many benefits. It's like a multivitamin that's very good for the bones and joints. I'll look up a list.
It's such it's like to take JB out for a walk. You have to be so patient, right?
This is like the ultimate patience test because so many people have little respect for animals as it is. She's been such an amazing lesson for me, especially now to just stop and enjoy every minute of it. Every minute of this, even of me having to direct her, you know?
It's worth it. She's partially blind, by the way, if people don't know that. Like, mostly blind.
Jason wants to know, what do you do with horsetail? I picked that recently knowing it was good for some ailments, but not looked it up or used it yet. What's it like?
You dry it and then make a tea out of it. And it basically, I got a little page here. This isn't very much information, but it's the history. His story is been used traditionally, a herbal remedy since times of Greek and Roman empires. It is believed to have multiple medicinal properties. It has traditionally been used to treat wounds, to enhance skin, hair, bone health, and a remedy for various other health conditions. However, there is not enough human evidence to support many of the traditional uses for horse.
Yeah, well, of course they're going to say that. Of course they're going to say that.
And I just wanted to say that to clarify that that's what it said on this webpage. Yeah. But
and we would like to point out once again that it's not break time anymore, that you are your own sovereign being, responsible for your own happiness and free will. And the purpose of this channel is not to provide a cure-all solution for everything, especially health advice or financial advice. Please call your local services in case of an emergency. Always seek out your own medical practitioner for medical advice.
And this is from organicfacts.net, and it says 9 impressive benefits of horsetail. The impressive benefits of horsetail include the ability to boost immunity, reduce inflammation, increase cognitive function, and relieve respiratory issues. It also helps to soothe the skin, protect bones, and promote oral health, to aid in detoxifying the body, managing diabetes, and promoting hair care.
You can see here it opens up tubes, airways, pathways.
It's chock
so inflammation being the same. All of these things is just allowing the body to open up and flow more.
It also has a very impressive array of nutrients in it. So that's probably part of it. Its power is that it's like a
delivering nutrients to the spots it needs. Yeah. So then, like, you know, doing teas and stuff like this as well, where we're
and tinctures, teas and tinctures.
So silicon is one of the ingredients that comes from it, and it's
natural
kind of
silicon.
Yeah,
a natural silicon.
Yeah,
there we go. So when I was talking about this supplement silicon that all the big YouTube channels are pushing, you know, like the keto and silicone and all that. There is a natural source of silicone, so therefore it absolutely, like, maybe they've stopped us from using these remedies. They've stopped us from getting these natural sources. So it's worth noting, horsetail has silicon.
Yeah, it's also a natural expectorant.
Silicon's good for your lips, your tits, your ass, your hips. What's silicon good for? I mean, I know what women use it for, but what's it actually good for? What does it do?
What does silicone do?
Yeah. Apart from, you know, make your boobs bigger. What does silicone do? Apart from being used, right? Why do we use silicone to seal baths and showers? And, you know, has silicone in the body got something to do with water retention?
Ashy soil. Ashy soil is, I mean, they're all your salts too. You know what happens with trees as they burn down as well, but they're releasing salts and nutrients into the air that we breathe and stuff as well. It's like this is a natural process.
So silicone is it's important in absorbing in the human body.
Right. Absorbing water. So it's actually
absorbing nutrients as well. So it also
so if you look at that too, like silicon being in the horsetail, no wonder there's a high nutrient. You know,
another
you're also
important
absorbing
thing,
those nutrients.
Another important thing it does is it bonds with aluminum that you might take in environmentally and keeps it from being absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract.
So get this. When I was growing up, I remember being in science class in physics or whatever it was we were in, and learning that aluminium was a man-made metal. And then finding out now that there's natural sources of aluminum. How is there a natural source of a man-made metal?
Well, there's iron.
Most aluminum is an alloy. It's a mixture.
It's an alloy. It's a mixture. Exactly.
Yeah, a recipe. So I mean, a lot of metals are. It's just like recipes.
But maybe that's why we used to think that it was like, maybe that's why they taught that it was man-made. Oh yeah, well, we mixed it. You know, it must be a man-made metal because you can only make it if you mix it, so it must be man-made. And now they accept that during the processes of whatever, it's possible for those particular elements to mix naturally, and therefore natural aluminium is created. And maybe naturally created aluminium is like everything natural. It's infinitely superior to anything that's synthetically made.
Organic structure.
So
organized structure.
Organization out of chaos.
Yeah, which is like a crystal growing, right? So a crystal growing has an organized structure. Salt.
A fascinating structure as well. Go on, Kev. Go on. Sorry, mate.
Good. It's a pretty good one because it helps your nails and hair stay strong. It helps control cholesterol in the body. Helps keep your mucous membranes healthy. Keeps them from being dehydrated. And proper moisture levels in the mucous membranes. So it's good. It's natural. It's not even a
fluoride.
You should have it in your diet. You shouldn't take
it shouldn't be. No, you shouldn't have any supplements really.
And horse scale has been a part of human diet for probably a very long time. That the Native Americans used it.
It's probably only in the last 60 years or something that we've cut it out, isn't it? In reality, they were probably eating horsetail in the early 1900s.
Right, making tea from it.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have, not everybody could afford tea bags. Not everybody could afford tea imported from China. Well, they would have drunk their own tinctures, like nettle tea. Like nettle tea and stuff like that, you know. English people would have drunk nettle tea. You know, they would have drunk that because there's stinging nettles fucking everywhere in the UK.
Also, caffeine is readily available in lots of Native American trees. You can just use the leaves.
That's
make coffee.
Caffeine isn't bad for you, and caffeine isn't actually. It's not the caffeine that's bad for you. It's the synthetically enhanced caffeine that you get in. It's not.
Or if you separate it through processing, so you know when they separate caffeine and then it's
make pills.
Yeah,
but it make a
another
pill,
one of these
pill.
things that works in a synergistic effect with other things as well. It's like the terpenes and stuff in CBD or whatever. You know, it's when we start taking the bits and pieces apart and we don't know how they interplay and work together, these synergistic effects in the body. You know, so in its natural form, in a natural product, you know, it's a stimulant. And there's many stimulants that are healing and helpful things for us as well, that help us to grow, because you stimulate growth. You know, you don't grow by doing nothing. You stimulate.
You also stimulate healing as well. You also stimulate healing as well.
So you have stimulants and relaxants, right? So, like, plants are stressors. They stimulate you. They stimulate healing. They stimulate certain organs and stuff as well. They stimulate within the body.
Stimulate. It's like a plant stem.
And then relaxants as well, which is just like, we're looking at something that speeds something up, something that slows something down. Like, relaxers will, you know, put you into different states of mind and relax you, open up pathways, relax muscles, this sort of stuff, which helps flow as well.
Slow your heart down as well, though, and
So, you know, uppers and downers, dude. Uppers and downers.
Yeah,
Life's
but there are absolutely natural uppers and downers, and they've basically stolen the knowledge of those and replaced it with their own synthetic.
We do it within inside ourselves as well. You know, we stimulate ourselves, we relax ourselves. You know, I mean, you know, it would be nice. Doing it ourselves is always step one for me. Doing something without anything, with just you, is always step one for me. You know, going to things and using things is now another, if you know, it's step two for me. You know, if you can't do it naturally, or, you know, you need some help or something as well, because we are extremely powerful. You know, a lot of the times, just the thought of I need to flow.
People really don't appreciate.
Why do I need something? Is it because of something else I'm doing? I need to change that thing I'm doing. That got me to this. People really don't fully appreciate
just how powerful we are. Like, these aren't just words, you know. This is reality. The reality is your perception is the key. And what they've done with all of us, even those of us that are awake, our perception has still been skewed by the indoctrination we've been through, because we haven't been brought up on a true path. We've found our own way because of these, you know, these feelings, strong feelings that we cannot ignore. This strong voice or whatever in our, you know, that says, no, don't accept this bullshit because it's not true. None of this is true. It should be another way. This is all meant to be a different way. I've lost the point of where I was going. Well, I just had a complete brain fart right in the middle of that. It was going somewhere beautiful, man. It was going somewhere beautiful. We're all on this. We're all on this path, aren't we? Many paths. We're on these many paths. Very winding. Anyway, I'm just like rabbling. Sapiens era.
Talking about aluminium, wicked good witch.
Alzheimer's.
That's what I was saying before about that separating of. So in that case, it's a byproduct of something. It's a byproduct of this, so it's separated. And now we don't want this to be a waste product. Let's, you know, create a story that is good for you and sell it. So,
well, it's like uranium, isn't it? Uranium-1. That's like bloody the byproduct of using uranium is depleted uranium that they then go and use. They tip shells with. That's a byproduct of using uranium. They like to do that a lot, though. Like, waste not, want not. That's what we're all taught, isn't it? Waste not, want not.
But a lot of the times it's in that first initial steps where they're actually creating shit products anyway, or whatever, or, you know, not doing it in a full circle sort of way where, you know, that waste is actually used in a beneficial way. It's like the biodigester, where it's not waste really from that at all. It's methane, and it's a complete product as well, so that can be burned and be clean fuel and stuff as well, right? If it's burnt clean. And then the waste, you know, that's actually fertilizer, you know. So it depends how you look at it too, you know. It's like you're taking all of those things from it and putting it back where it needs to be, not, you know, in someone's diet or something. You're putting it back into that wheel of nature, completing the cycle. So whatever you do, you complete that natural cycle, you know, not half-ass do it like like we're sort of taught to, you know, find that profitable, and then waste is just a you know, a thing on the books, you know. That's where, like, building those communities, what you guys are doing, you know, you can do, like, you can step back and go, is there a better way to do this that's more natural from the outset, from the beginning? Yeah, let's plant this and use the entire product. Yeah.
It's really about giving yourself the choice, because as long as you're, like, within certain confines, your products and things come in these packages, which you inevitably have to return to the people who you have to entrust are going to do the right thing with those packages. And then they've basically unplugged people from any knowledge of how to compost or how to recycle things on their own. So, you know, it's
and
like
they've taught people not to conserve. They've taught people to discard, and, you know,
that's
to
someone's
use
job,
more,
and not only this,
more than you need.
they've also made it a higher profit end for them, because they're charging people like a 10-cent deposit on a can, and then they're only giving people limited access to be able to return those cans that they pay their deposit for. And if they don't, like, if they get out a piece of paper and they don't cash it in time, it's gone. So it's like what is a deposit when they're not really the outlet that you buy the thing from that takes your money should be the one that's obligated to return your money just as quickly as they took it from you.
Oh yes, mate. Oh mate. Gee, like my whole thing with bloody Amazon. That was my whole thing with Amazon. Like, they took the money straight away, but when it came to refunding it, it took them fucking 3 months or something. Ridiculous.
Yeah, there's somehow they've blended all these things into everything now, you know. Like, even like if you do an Uber and you cancel it, if you read the fine print, it says it could take 3 to 5 days after they've taxed your money in your account. It usually comes right back. But someday they could just go, well, to like a million customers that just canceled the ride, oh, it'll be 3 to 5 days.
But that percentage of that money staying in your account, what is the interest on that?
Right. When you multiply it times a million people times rides that
so the longer you can delay things, the more money you make in terms of these larger percentages on
just like banking.
I just
transferring money
want to
accounts and holding it for 48 hours after they've taken it out of the account.
I just want to address something going on in the chat room. I don't know what's going on here. So ErgoIam's been blocked. I don't know why. I don't know what's happened, because I missed it, obviously. That's an interesting way to phrase that.
Yeah, I don't understand why you're helping him as associate, but why did ErgoIam get blocked? What did he say? I haven't heard him say anything.
No idea.
Who blocked him.
And I don't. Yep, perhaps has probably sent me some money.
Richie doesn't control all the mods. Like, come on now.
I can't control
come
anybody.
on now.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, we are addressing it. So if one of our mods could come forward who blocked ErgoIam, and maybe we just need to unblock that person.
We'll just see what I mean. Why?
It really could have been an accident.
Yeah,
that's what I'm wondering too.
When you're first in this, and the pop-ups come up, and if you click it, it's gone, and you don't know what happened. I've done that on the
phone. It's easy to do
on the YouTube apps. It's
Leafy did it.
I'm pretty sure I've been blocked by accident on a few, you know, where they time out or whatever at accidental hittings and stuff like this. There's heaps.
Well,
of reasons.
Leafy's
It's like
in
without
chat.
context, it's like, well, you know, if you no
I'm just
control
listening
there.
to what you said.
Leafy hasn't smoked too much Leafy. Maybe Leafy remembers what the
one thing that I if it's okay with everybody, I'd like to see us time people out before we just go to blocking. I mean, I understand that sometimes. So, and again, this all could have been an accident, but I'm just saying, if you guys see something,
Ergo I am can be quite.
I always thought
Ergo
if you
I am
block
can be
someone as
quite.
a mod. Oh, sorry.
Ergo I am can be quite outspoken, and what he says might not. He might not always agree with everybody, but I don't like Ergo I am isn't a troll. So
yeah, I don't know what. Again, I don't know what was said.
We can't block people for having a difference of opinion, or you know, like I guess they don't like an independent thinker. You know, just because somebody disagrees doesn't mean that we should block them.
We highly encourage it.
If somebody's trolling, if they're just being deliberately nasty and you know.
You're an idiot.
Then, yeah, but if somebody's just got a difference of opinion, I don't agree with just you know, blocking somebody because they've got a difference of opinion. But if somebody's got a difference of opinion and that's all they'll, you know, they won't shut up about it and that's all they'll talk about, even when the conversation's about something else or, you know, whatever, then that's just being deliberately disruptive. So, you know, it's like have a difference of opinion, but don't be deliberately disruptive either.
Oh, there you go.
So anyway, I don't know what happened.
And it's hard to interpret things through messaging and chat. So.
Yeah.
I do apologize though.
That's really the thing, Sarah. It's with text and stuff like that, it's so easy to misinterpret so many things. You've got to have a bit of leeway, you know.
Yeah. I
always thought actually when you blocked someone as a mod and you block someone, you're just blocking it from you. Like,
no, you're not. That's the thing. But you're not. You're blocking from the whole. So you're blocking from the channel. When a mod blocks somebody in my chat, it means that person is blocked from my channel completely. They can't do anything else. They can't chat, can't watch.
I thought that would be weird.
So they have
like
to come on
if you block someone, as a mod, you couldn't read their comments and stuff as well. It'd be a bit hard to moderate.
Yeah. It is. It's actually, I apologize because we get into discussion and it's hard to follow the chat sometimes too. Because I don't even think I've said hi to some people who've come in since break time and such. By the way, I think Alex is here, Ems was here. Oh, we're getting the wag the finger for the big naked troll. What the fuck is that?
Aren't smart enough.
It was a spelling mistake. A spelling mistake. Actually, I disagree, Sniper. There are some covert people that are still. There are some people that are still presenting themselves as something that they're not. They're you know, it's basically everything has been infiltrated. Just get used to it. Everything's been infiltrated. So like anything good, especially anything that's gaining any ground or getting any legs to it, they infiltrate it as fast as they can, and they're not entirely stupid. And there are sleepers, and there's sleepers that don't even know they're sleepers. They don't even fucking know they're sleepers. They don't even know that's what they are. Right? And this doesn't mean you can't trust anybody, but it does. It means you can't really put too much trust in anybody unless you can trust your own sense of discernment, unless you can absolutely trust your own judgment of people when you're in their presence, being able to judge them. And if you're not able to get into that position where you can read them, because they won't, they keep, you're always kept at arm's length, so you don't ever get to know anything, real about the person. Then if I can't ever find anything real out about somebody, then I don't trust them. at all.
It's hard. That's
Trust
like a
is
lesson
like
I've
your
had to
interest.
learn.
Where your interest lies, and those when those resonating, when we resonate with someone, and we feel like we can then trust them. I mean, that's what we're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, when there's no resonation, it's like, well, there's no.
No, and that that resonance can come immediately. You can instantly resonate with somebody and feel like, rah, I can trust this person. I know I can trust this person. They're not going to ever do anything intentionally bad, you know. And there's other people that you can say, do you know what? I know this person wouldn't ever do anything intentionally bad, but they're a bit of a liability, you know. something could unintentionally happen as a result.
Body
of
reading
them,
skills and that are very handy for that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
like I do come across a lot of people who are emotionally unstable, and it's in those where I feel it and I go, not a position I want to be in. So I'll remove myself from that, because it's a you know, a feeling where anything can happen here. This person is unhinged or doesn't have control, has a lack of control, and we can feel that, and we can move away from danger, right?
Yeah.
And that's subtle energy again. These are all subtle energy things, you know. Engaging with our emotions, that's an energy, that's a subtle energy for us now, and it gets stronger as we use it, and we trust ourselves. So it's a matter of trusting yourself to really read people well and understand, and to gain that, you know, to feel that subtle resonance as well, because for most everyone it's going to be subtle in the beginning until they learn to recognize it. And then that's trusting yourself. It's not really trusting it's a personal thing, right? It's your own barrier you're breaking.
Definitely.
And in that trust is you have to do what you have to do. It's like, if I have to leave this situation or leave this area or whatever, then that is something that you do. That's an instinct.
Yeah.
Intuit.
So
do eyebrow dances.
Is the caramel
expression? It's all about expression, baby.
I love it.
That one. If you see someone like that, that's mania, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure
give us
people
some other
know a lot
one.
of people like that look good. You see the whites at the top here, right?
Yeah.
They're manic. They're stressed out.
Yeah.
It's actually connected to certain things. It's physical. I always say, if someone's like that, I'm like, whoa, that's another one of those. This person is not in control of their emotions, so they can fly off the handle from misconceptions and this sort of stuff as well. So it's an uneasy situation. So in that instance, you're being careful, right? It's like you're walking on eggshells with someone.
I've got an inquisitive eyebrow, and I've got a fucking freaky psychopathic eyebrow. Like, one eyebrow raised makes me look inquisitive, and the other eyebrow raised makes me just look like,
that's
what the fuck?
The magician. Yeah, wizard.
Yes.
The wizard, dude.
Very effective wizard gaze there, sir.
Well, I can teach you the wizard gaze if you like. Stay
well,
here.
The thing is, right,
funny.
Callum, I'm not being funny, right?
That's my name.
One of the things that I've recognized is that I have some sort of power in my eyes, because
I can't see you. I'm on big screen here now.
Yeah, but people get like uncomfortable from my stare, you know, like I've had girlfriends get like just go, whoa, that was really weird. Whoa, that was really fucking. I'm like, what? And like, you just, you're right. Just the way you looked at me then, it's like you just
But
intense.
Still right through me, man. Like you just saw my soul or something. And I'm like, yeah, I did.
Well, that's
just
like
see
what I
your
said there too. Is looking between is a steady gaze. Do you actually do that? Is
Or do
that
you flick
where you
between the
find
two
yourself
eyes?
in that when that happens?
No,
Where you're
I focus on
gazing at
one.
someone. You're not looking at their eyes or looking at their mouth. You're gazing at them. That's a very different thing, and that's somewhat very uncomfortable for people. Doing it as a stage hypnotist or something like this is expected, and it's part of the role that's played. So it's taken differently. But in different contexts.
I like to focus on the end of the nose when doing that. I find it's the easiest.
When you're seeing auras and stuff as well, you're gazing really, right? So it's
when you're seeing the auras, you're but you're coming out of focus. You're not focusing on the person. Your focus shifts, and you're seeing something actually in front of the person. Because if you think the energy's not here, it's not just going around the outside of the body here like that. It's around the entire body. So you're not just seeing the edges, you're seeing through it as well. And that's so you need to bring your focus actually back or forward or whatever. You're focusing, what you're really doing is focusing just in front of the person instead of, or you focus just behind them. But really, I think, yeah, you end up like you're focusing through them. But it's, yeah, you're not focusing on matter.
When you do a 3D eye and you're learning to see the image and it snaps into view.
And then you can't see anything else.
Well, practice shifting back and forth.
I remember where I was the first time I saw one of those pictures. I remember where I was first time I saw one of those pictures. I was like about 6 years old. And it was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, you can just do that just with your eyes. Just like you can just stand there and make the picture change with your eyes without doing anything.
You see your eyes go like that. You're focusing on something. And when you put your eyes forward like that too, it's a different experience. When you're just you can think about it in terms of, if I look at the horizon and then go past the horizon, see as far as you can see, your eyes are doing that. The more you see so that's our and doing it outside like that is actually a good practice for that as well. And then you start seeing as seeing different things, seeing other energies that are involved in this world that we're just not focused on. It's a different focus. You know, we're taught to keep everything in focus too, because this is reality. This is what we know. But, you know, adjusting and practicing with your eyes like that as well on a whole bunch of different things. Like I do it by looking at objects as well.
See you later, Leafy.
See you, mate.
Sorry, Leafy's just got to pop it to work.
And then you can see two images of one thing. So you're allowing your eyes to relax, basically, uncrossing them. And you see the two images, and then you can focus and use that as a eye exercise as well. So,
yeah.
Watching the ball go by.
We're going on a tour. Where are we going?
I'm getting some sun.
Nice. Nice. Well, look at that. 3 hours.
Exactly.
How's everyone doing? You all enjoying your day? In the chat room? Is everybody in the chat room enjoying themselves? Are you on mute there, Sarah? Because I can't hear anything you're saying, babe.
Yep. Just gonna say, Leafy, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy. So we've been talking about maybe if I go to the UK before I go, well, I'm going to have to go to the UK before I go
to Ecuador.
Anywhere to Ecuador or to America. If they drop the mandates, I'll go to America first. But I'll go and
maybe actually it might still make sense
said I
to
can
go to UK and then America actually, because you were still looking at a weird connecting flight. Remember? So
yeah, no, either any
way.
But
here he comes.
Also, I want to. I do want to visit my family before I piss off. So, yeah. So I'll go and stay with Leafy. Said I can go and stay with him. So that's why I said to Brian, mate, maybe in the next couple of months I'm going to turn up in Wales. We can all meet up. That would be pretty cool.
That would be way cool. This time we all.
I'm sure we'd be able to get. We'd be able to get. Obviously, Rox will come down. Get Rox and.
Where is Rox, by the way? Is she?
Oh, right now.
Yeah, things. No, things are a bit crazy in Rox's reality at the moment. So she's we're just sending. We're sending her all our love. Yeah, sending all our love.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be sweet, man. It's all going to sort it. It's all going to sort itself out.
Just kind of envision. I mean, it's good to let's focus on Rox for a few minutes, just because it's good to do that as a group. But don't forget to do that for yourself every day. And just know that it may look weird and rough right now, but there might be a reason why. So, just gonna positive and
yeah. Like thinking about what's his name, I can't remember what his name is, but what he talks about, the last thing that you think about when you go to sleep, you know, before you go to sleep, what's the last thing you think about? And
yeah, actually, that's huge, especially with sleep. And it's not about counting sheep; it's a little deeper than that. So I think that if you really start working on positive intention affirmations, you might notice the stress that you're normally that's keeping you awake at night becomes less and less.
Yeah, that video from the sheep.
What video?
Remember the lady was driving and the sheep were following her?
Oh, let me see if I can find that. That was hilarious.
There's like this lady jogging, and then there's a whole herd of sheep, and they're following her. And I was like, after that, I don't think that lady can use that anymore to go to sleep.
They started following her because so she comes up on like another hiker, and she. And it's funny because she's like excited to be able to explain to everybody what was happening. So it's clear you realize what's going on. Yep, I've just found it. You realize like running and they just start like 100 sheep just started following her.
It's sort of like a soft run of the bulls.
Oh wait, I need to send this in the private chat so Richie can play it because I can't ever play sound. There you go.
That would be funny to like get some video of like the bull run that they have where all the people are running from the bulls, and then right as it's starting to peak, like stick that in the middle like a Rickroll of the lady running from the sheep with the Rickroll music, right?
Yeah.
I think we'll do that. You got sheep rolled.
I want to go outside now
Most
again.
of us love hiking in the
woods.
It's
nice.
This provides us to escape from the noise and din of the city. Most of us love hiking in the woods, and it provides us to escape from the noise and
That was
heat
our
of the city
dial-up
life.
connection.
And while doing so, we feel at
This
peace
is not the
and
original
get to
one I
experience
saw.
a wide range of things, especially the scenic views and the antics of animals. A case in point is this video was shot by a hiker in France. It shows a flock of sheep following a trail runner, and it has left netizens
That's quite funny.
The video was
Right.
posted on Instagram by a user named Eleanor Shores.
And running up behind running up behind us, the farmer going, "Hey, come back with my sheep!"
I could envision her at like laying in bed at night, like counting 1, 2, 3, and then she's about ready to go to sleep, you know, and then all of a sudden that pops up in her head, and she's just like bolts
More like
upright
1,
in
2,
bed.
ah!
No. What it is, she's laid there trying to imagine pigs. She's desperately trying to imagine pigs, and then a sheep creeps in, and she goes, "Ah!"
And then turns into a flock very quickly.
Yeah, no matter what she tries to envision, you know, she's like in sleep therapy, and Sarah is her therapist.
There you
saying,
go.
okay, we're gonna try flowers. We're gonna try flowers floating down a stream with some beautiful Tibetan bowl music, and then she's like, ah! The sheep come running in, right through the stream, trample over all the floating lotus flowers.
I've just seen this
good
thing. Sherry asked us to talk about DSMO.
Yeah. And I'm trying to go through right now to pull out some other questions too, because Squirrel Sniper has a question for Callum. So sorry, chat, we're going to pay attention right now.
My advice would be get Amanda's book on DMSO, and that'll show you the amounts and stuff as well.
Yeah, Amanda Vollmer.
There's some things to be careful of with the DMSO. Like, you use it with anything, it can bring anything into your system. So using it, it's like an enhancer. You know, so I'll use it with magnesium. So I do my magnesium and water 50-50 sort of thing as a mix to get extra magnesium, right? But then you can add salt, the DMSO to it as well. So you've done your salt mix, and then do another 50-50 mix with DMSO, and that'll, you know, help get the magnesium into your system deeper, stronger, more. You know, you can even use it to feed people where you can't feed them via the mouth or whatever. You can feed them through the stomach. So it's a very strong detoxer as well, taking things out of your body, helping things to detox out of your body as well. So it's extremely, like for me, what I use it for too is it's like a magic little thing that I can use to make a lot of my tinctures and stuff way more powerful. Right, faster acting, more effective. So you're getting more bang for your buck as well. And it's quite a cheap product, you know, as well. It's like, it comes from trees. It's a byproduct of byproduct again, but it's a byproduct from making paper, tree pulp.
Gotcha.
So I imagine source matters, right?
But I would definitely, you know, grab Amanda's book to actually get the doses and the amounts and stuff, because you have to be careful with it. You know, there are some things you have to know.
I'm looking for the link to her.
Didn't we?
I'm looking for it right now.
I just Yummy Doctor. Yummy Doctor is one.
No, it's her. No, it's her other website. It's the one that's
and
Yum
if you do,
Yum Naturals.
Yum Naturals, and she's Yummy Doctor on the thing, isn't she? Yeah, Yum Naturals.
Yeah,
and if anybody does go and buy anything, just drop her a little note. Tell them that the Wide Awake Show sent you.
You know, it can remove cataracts and stuff as well.
Yeah,
it's an amazing thing.
I might want to try a little bit with JB.
Yeah, use it with respect. You know what you're doing with it, and it's powerful, very powerful.
Yeah.
Just remember,
here we go.
People, this is the Wide Awake Animal and Dog and Sloth Care Program.
But we are not medical doctors. We do not have any qualifications in medical
Healing
stuff.
with
We're not
DMSO.
here to provide we're not here to provide a cure-all solution for anything. This is all just opinions, and do your own research.
Which YouTube says we are allowed to discuss personal experiences and stories. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, YouTube.
Yeah.
I like to use things topically as well. So I use a lot of DMSO topically, but internally as well. But topically, you know, your skin, what we absorb, it's sort of more of a natural sort of dosing. Whereas like magnesium, I can put magnesium on, I can have a bath of magnesium and your body will absorb it and use it where it's needed. You know, you won't overdose yourself. You know,
would you say there's also some important
internally? Like I could never take that much salt internally.
Yeah.
Right?
Would you say maybe that
do not ever
like bathing is
do not ever get mixed up between don't get mixed up between magnesium and mercury. The two are completely different and should not be.
Well, there's an organic mercury as well.
I would hope you would know the difference.
There's an inorganic mercury and an organic mercury. The inorganic mercury is a heavy metal that's not toxic for your body, but your body will use it. Your body will absorb and use it if it doesn't have access to the natural organic mercury, right? So if you're having fish or something that does have mercury in it, that's some good mercury, right? That's what we needed. But what will happen there too is that
when they tell you that tuna,
yeah. So that organic structured mercury will actually replace, you know, it will chelate. It will actually get rid of that inorganic mercury too, because your body's got the good stuff. It goes, oh, if I can take the good stuff, get rid of that. So now you'll have detox effects.
Steer clear of the red stuff as well. Steer clear of red mercury.
It could be seen as poisoning. I'm poisoning myself, but you're actually just detoxing the poison you've already put in, right? That's very different. But we can understand that as well in terms of like some things we can take, but some, you know, you want to find it in food and do it naturally anyway, because if we use supplements and stuff as well, a lot of the times your body will now stop producing that because you're actually,
and if you're using a supplement, especially if it's synthetic, your body can only metabolize 25% of it an hour. So 75% of that supplement is getting excreted through your urine.
But if your body isn't getting it, think about this. This is crucial. If your body is getting it continuously, then it doesn't remember how to produce it itself. This actually coincides with serotonin too, where like we need to remember how to wake up without going right
sometimes
towards
it's those stimulants that help us stimulate to produce, and now we're producing it ourselves. It's the same as THC. You produce THC. I'm saying this very simply. It's a bit more complicated than this, but your body produces THC, right? And then people who are ill seem to have less production of this, whereas you take these products to so long as it has THC in it as well, if it's artificially taken out, then this is not going to work. It's actually opposite. It will hurt you more. You will not produce more. But just taking some THC will naturally, you know, in a natural product, will boost our levels again, and we will start producing it again, right? So this is where it's flipped again, right? So where that stimulant, your body remembers, it's like, right, this is what I need. I can produce this myself when it's in a natural, in foods and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Natural. Yeah. But if I just took THC, separated THC without anything, no.
Well, like
now you
one of the things I wasn't aware of is that the CBD that I was giving Jitterbug was synthetically produced. It wasn't, you know, and so now with the RSO, you're talking about like live resin. This makes a huge difference
full
with
spectrum product.
Yep.
You know,
let me get the one I got her. It's a full spectrum RSO with mostly CBD. And it's a hybrid. I'm really excited. I'm going to give it to her today.
I mean, that should hopefully start clearing up her cataracts as well.
That's the beautiful thing about doing it topically as well. You can put it exactly where you know you want it to be used. if you put it inside too, your body will take control over that. If you're doing it internally and go, it needs to go here first, and then it's got its own thing. But if you want to, this goes there. I mean, people have tried to do this for a long, like, what's his, Dr. Young, I think.
No, it's
which had a method of I want this nutrient to go to this organ sort of thing. And what you do is you give it the direction by giving it the information of that organ. So you'd take cells from a kidney or whatever if you wanted that nutrient to be delivered to the kidney. Right, so that's a vibration. You're putting a vibration onto it, and it'll know where to go because it has that vibration. So, you know, there's been heaps of ways and methods to sort of try and get these stuff to, but as far I think simply as well, that topical way of doing that is one of the best ways to do it because it's self-dosing as well. You're not guessing. Your body's just doing it for you. Allow your body to do it.
I realize you can see it in here, but the difference between this and the other stuff is very dark. And so, but I'm going to give her like the tiniest amount. It's actually amazing how much you need for yourself. This is so affordable too.
Oh, it's tiny there. Not here, it's not. That syringe there would cost you 100 euros here.
Wow. If you have a discount, you can like $20 maybe, less. 15 to 20 bucks maybe.
Well,
yeah, they had some for 17.
If you have a double discount like Kevin.
I was just going to say something for, we're on the discussion of nutrients and absorbing nutrients and nutrient sources. And I studied with Paul Pitchford years ago, and he wrote a book called Healing with Whole Foods. And it's based on that Chinese 5-element, method of healing. And it goes through all the nutrients, all the elements of each type of
it's linked to your blood type as well, isn't it? Isn't it linked to your blood type as well?
In Chinese medicine, it's very individual. So you would have to do something like some kind of reading, but you can self-read. You can do pulses and things like that on yourself.
Yep.
And look at your tongue, do reading from your tongue.
I know that, like, certainly in Japan, I don't know about in China, but I know that certainly in Japan, your blood type is a massive thing. Like, if you're rhesus positive or rhesus negative, so it's a huge thing about what you can eat, what you eat, and everything. It's like it all plays into your diet, what your blood type is. So I wonder if that, like, when you say it's very individual for the. I wonder how they.
It breaks down. It breaks down diseases too, because diseases have certain specific elements to the disease. So you can treat the element deficiency or excess by shifting your diet to eat foods that support the shift. So it's a really good resource manual. So I just wanted to tell people that are in chat that if you have access to even going into a place where they have it and doing a little reading in it to see if it's something that would fit you. But I've used
What's
it
the
for
name
years.
Again?
Healing with Whole Food. Healing with Whole Foods by Paul Pitchford. Good one.
For most people, it's about not putting in toxins. If you identify what the toxins are in your environment, and stay away from them. Don't put them in internally. So knowing where your food comes from, because an apple ain't an apple. In this day and age, an apple is not an apple. So it's really, someone's flying in the background there.
I wonder what she was going to do when she disappeared out of shot. The squirrel sniper didn't realize that Kevin and Sarah are actually in the same location.
Should have done like a Star Trek beaming or something.
It's a bit like Cousin It then. Cousin It was smaller though.
She was blocking my son.
Dude, get out of the rays, man.
Dude.
You're blocking my vitamin D.
Dude.
You're blocking my vitamin D. I need that for all the dude.
Guess I could let my hair down.
The dude abides. You've got very long hair there, sir. You look at it reminds me of the lead singer of Iron Maiden. It's very, very long and straight. It's very brown. You color your hair. Is that natural?
It's natural. I just do this
natural.
bun. This is my.
Oh, sorry. I was talking to Kevin, Sarah. Sorry.
Oh.
I was talking to Kevin with his beautiful brown hair there. I was just wondering if that's a natural hair color or if he actually uses a colorant. Do you use henna?
Wait, I want to use henna.
Is this how a 54-year-old man? How does a 54-year-old man have such brown hair?
I don't know. I just don't gray. I mean, I've gone through periods. I mean, there's some gray in there if you look real hard. But
I don't think it's very fair. I'm the reverse of you. I'm 45. I'm 45, not 54. Actually, how old are you? You're not 54, are you? 50.
57.
How old are you?
57.
Folks, young at heart, right here, Kevin. Young at heart. This is how I get my curl. I just twirl my hair up like this. I wear my hair like this a lot, and then take it down, and it gets a natural curl.
Yeah, I do the same.
Oh, good. I noticed.
Just minuscule.
No, just down here. Down
Tiny
here.
little curls. Oh, right.
You know. I mean, obviously, there's somewhat of a natural curl there already, but you know, what can you do? I'm talking about my toe hair. What are you thinking of?
Oh, same.
Yeah, I do have hairy toes. And does anybody else have hairy toes? Ladies, I'd just like you. Any ladies that are out there that have hairy toes, do not despair. There's more of you out there.
I don't have like those hobbit toes.
I shaved my toes.
Hobbit toe.
I have horrible feet.
Just the big toe.
We're not going to dedicate this show to what Sarah shaves, okay?
TMI time. It's TMI time. What are you talking about? Everybody wants to know the weird things women do.
Okay,
here's the thing. We're breaking boundaries. Well, you got your TMI. I shaved my toes. My big toe.
Yeah, can that be a
baking boundaries?
Can that what?
Can we bake? No. Can we bake boundaries? Let's bake some boundaries, man. Let's fill them with.
How about some magic boundaries? Can we have magic boundaries?
I'm just helping
mushrooms.
Sweet women not worry so much. It's like, who cares? Who cares?
Which is actually that's a really, really good time to remind everybody. Yeah, this is the whole point of everything that's going on, right? It's getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and the whole point is you've got to keep an even keel and stay calm. No matter what happens around you, make sure that you stay calm. And that's one of the things that this guy said, this Dwayne cowboy guy, he says, stay calm, be calm. Like, so that because a calm man or woman is thinking. So you're thinking straight if you're calm.
I have something really good to add to that, because what this journey was for me, just to finish, what this actually coming to the coast was for me, it was that I wasn't really healing very well. And because of the stress I was under, it was like I needed to remove myself from that situation. So I want everybody to keep that in mind. If you think you're not healing, maybe it's the environment you're in, because it's not maybe only triggering your trauma, or maybe it's actually where the trauma originated from. And you need to get into a place where you can truly heal.
Oh, hell yeah.
extremely scary to go out on your own. But it's actually
time you have to do things. You have to do something. You know, and it's about working out what you have to do. That is the healing.
And it's like
it might
take
be nothing,
time, but yeah.
Don't stagnate. Don't sit there and stagnate.
What will happen
Walk
if you
slowly on the path and read the signs?
Do you want to go smooth and slow, or do you want it to come at you like and then you're torn apart and everything's chaotic? But you might actually be able to control the flow a little bit.
They've been tiptoeing us towards one thing. We'll just tiptoe that way. They're trying to tiptoe us this way. We're going to tiptoe that way. Take it easy, one toe at a time. I just got this little image now of like little toes creeping forward.
Hairy toes, hobbit toes.
Yeah, hobbit toes, man. Oh, I've got I don't like my feet. I went to order the DSMO on book, and it's $30 for delivery.
Delivery, yeah.
Yeah, it's like $4.99 for the product, but $30 for delivery.
Yeah.
I wonder, can you get it PDF? No?
It's
sure.
on Amazon. Is it as a PDF on Amazon? Or what's Indigo?
So
it's actually it says it's $21.95, the book. Honestly, what Amanda's doing though, so like if you guys hadn't seen our interview with her, I'd recommend you go back and watch it, because she was actually talking about creating like a school and like have so that people could come and learn all this. So she's trying to, help change something.
And it really is self-care, it's like doing these things so you feel confident in your own body and you don't need of anything else, anyone else. You can do it all.
Yeah.
Just take it. It's literally just taking the responsibility.
It's
a bit of an investment, Sherry. It's a kind of an investment, really, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's a bit of money, man. $51.95, including the delivery.
Absolutely worth it if you're going to use it and get into it. It's definitely worth it.
Like the money.
Her videos, she'll go through a lot too. She'll go through separate recipes and stuff on her YouTube channel and stuff as well. She already has. So you can look back and look through as well.
I don't think she ever came back. Her YouTube channel.
Oh, really? There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she had a.
It has a lot to do with how she talks about DMSO specifically.
But I think she actually hosted. She hosts all her videos on her website anyway, so they are there.
Yeah, and she was on Beth Martin's show. She was just on Beth Martin's show. Or is going to be. She's like queued up. She just did an interview with somebody else too. Maybe it was Raised by Giants or something like that. I'm gonna see if she's back on YouTube right now. Oh, she's back. Wait, maybe this isn't her. I'll double check. Oh, this is maybe an old site, but I'll send you guys this one. Yeah, there's like one video on here from 5 years ago.
Well, we've still got our interview with her.
She puts aloe vera with it a lot for skin and stuff like that, because using too much of it or whatever, you can start to get your skin can get quite thick. Like
here we go.
But you just stop it and it'll go to normal again. But the aloe vera sort of helps. She has recipes with aloe vera in it. Eye drops. She has recipes for eye drops and stuff like that. Cataracts.
Yeah, I remember the eye drops.
Hey, Callum.
I remember her talking about making the eye drops as well. Go on,
Callum.
Kev?
Have you done capo?
No.
The frog, the tree frog.
No.
Is that what it's called?
I think there are any here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's. Yeah, no, it's an African tree frog. I was just watching New Earth Sylvie did a little video on self-medicating with that tree frog venom. Pretty interesting.
She goes through microdosing in that as well.
Yeah.
She's done a bit on that, yeah. She said it really well, actually. It's like, you know, doing something for 6 months. It's like choosing that, like you were saying before, Sarah, it's that full-on trip. Or do you want to take it nice and slow over a period of time? It's up to you and where you are at and how much you can handle, how much you can take as well, because you know, if you can't handle it, you won't.
Yep.
You know,
if you, but here, just so you know, if you start dancing and singing and you don't know why, it's probably was a good idea.
Yeah, you're releasing. Yeah.
Right.
Don't just dancing and singing. You're dancing and singing because it's an expression of how you're feeling. You're feeling happy and sort of energetic, and you want to express
that's a release too. Yeah. A lot of the time it's just releasing stuff in the now that you're stressing about or whatever. Now, what do I feel like doing? Dancing and singing.
Yep.
You know, I can now.
And that's, I think, where I got
couldn't before because I was worried about this. I was thinking about that.
And then I would sit in the worry. Now I can kind of go, not right now. Not right now. I don't need this. Thanks. Good. So I can get over it because I can take that next step so quickly. It's like, yeah. So and I'm naturally like that. If people who know me for years will say, you're always happy, and really, I truly don't let things. I used to let grudges with people sit with me, and then it would come out in certain conversations. Right?
Never been able to.
Now I deal with that, but before it was like, regardless, I would still find just ultimate happiness, and I would always just because it feels so good. Hey, we're almost at 3 hours and 33 minutes. It's been a good stream, guys. Not that I'm trying to
end man.
Confirmed.
All the time.
That's a cedar tree behind me.
Oh, it's huge. Show them how big that tree is. It's huge. Yeah.
Cedar is beautiful. It has such a lovely smell.
Yes. It's a big old mama.
Gumby Bear, how you doing, brother? Probiotics. Good to see you, mate.
Like getting probiotics from companies.
I hope, Gumby Bear, I hope you're doing well, man. I hope you're all right. I know that the last time you were on the show, you were in pain.
Gumby.
I think I remember.
Yeah,
DN, I hope DN's doing okay as well. He went into hospital for a blood transfusion, and he was due out again the same day, but I haven't heard anything from him since. So I hope that DN's doing okay as well.
Was that a while ago, like a couple of weeks ago?
No, it was a few days ago.
Okay, yeah, because he was in for something else, I think.
I think it might have been on my birthday.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Gumpy Bear, yeah, that's crazy that happened. Keep in mind that Richie for 2 weeks was it 2 weeks or 1 week? He was out of his channel, and I'm wondering if it was like around that time, but. You know, Kevin, Gumpy Bear's in Northern California. He's not like crazy far away. We're on the we're north of Lincoln City right now, Gumpy Bear, on the Oregon coast.
Oh, cool. I thought you were talking about the gummy worm in the freezer.
There you go.
Cool.
He's good.
That's good. Cool. I'm good that he's good. I'm happy he's good.
Hope I'm not making anybody sick by walking around.
No, it's so beautiful.
If I can see the horizon, it's all good.
I'd like to try salvia. It's quite intense, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
The only reason I know about salvia is because of American Dad. It's the only reason I know about salvia.
It was the hardest high to come down from for me. But it wasn't a pure salvia. I mixed it with iboga and Hawaiian woodrose seed.
Bit of ketamine in there.
No, it's not ketamine.
Cocktail.
It's ibogaine, lysergic acid, and salvia. combined.
Alex and Shari, can you, if you speak to DN, then can you just, you know, send him my love? Tell him I hope he gets better soon. And his son's awesome for popping into the chat and keeping us updated. Thank you.
Yeah, sending much love to DN. Definitely tell him. I think he knows that we talk about him all the time. We're always looking for him. So, and we really care. We really, really do. We do. Just kidding. As far as my overly zealous, I'm looking at exactly where. Oh, you're just north of LA. I thought you were further north, Gumpy Bear. Sorry. Even from your pictures too, it looks like you're further north.
It's not Grumpy Bear. It's Gumby Bear.
Did I say grumpy? I'm sorry.
Mm.
Gumby.
I used to stay in Baldwin Park.
Don't take offense to my poor use of language.
Baldwin Park, Malibu, Irvine, Compton, and Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Tony, right, listen, I'm going to sort this out now.
What's going on that I can't read? Why am I not seeing the rest of this? Where did that come from? It's all good.
I don't know, but create a studio.
Ooh, this looks good.
If Ergo I Am is blocked, I'll unblock him.
We'll double check on it, but again, like I don't think anybody was like totally against us just saying, "Hey guys," instead of us like immediately going to block somebody, if they are being harassing, then put them in timeout. We will, you know, especially on the Sunday show, we are looking at the chat. So, and other situations, I don't know if we're going to do lives. I think we might end up, we'll do live interviews, but I think we're going to start doing some premiere type stuff, especially for our new channel. So it'll be a little less like live chat like this. So anyway, and Callum, we keep talking about it after today.
Right, hang on. Ergo I Am is no longer blocked. All right.
Thank you.
So Tony, if you can, I've just gone and sorted that out. I apologize for not doing it sooner. And when you come in, I'll give you a wrench so nobody can block you again. All right, but don't be cool, man. Obviously, be cool. Don't come in and start blocking other people.
Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Just be cool.
Are some of these people over in Roxanne's chat? That might be the problem. I think Ergo I Am is in Roxanne's chat, so we don't have control over that.
Well, no, I'm the only one with a wrench in Roxanne's chat. So.
Oh, that's right. No, I am too. But that's right.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not Roxanne.
So it's not Roxanne. It's in my chat.
Yeah. Just chill, man. Just look at the scenery, everybody.
I'm trying to work out if Tony W is Ergo I Am. I don't know if Tony is Ergo.
I don't know either.
Oh man, look at those cool birds.
Tony, mate, you can have
Your
a wrench.
Your head? I can't see the birds, Kev. I can only see the back of your head.
I was about to get a shot and some idiot walks up into the shot.
Is it a pelican? Is it in the back of the yard?
No, I was making a joke.
Oh.
I hate it when I have to explain my jokes.
Yep.
Enough of that nature. I've had it. I need 4 erect walls around me.
Tony W, you've got a wrench, mate. So no, don't. Yeah. And if you're Ergo, then you're unblocked. And if you're speaking to Ergo, then tell Ergo that Ergo is unblocked. I don't actually know who Ergo I Am is. I'm just
Ergo.
I know that. No, I know that I know the name and everything, but I don't actually know who he is. You know,
Lego my
like, I know who Leafy is. I know who M is. I know who Shari is. I kind of know who Squirrel Sniper is because he's been on. I've seen him. We've met in that sense. Yeah, Pushkin. Gumby Bear's been on. I know he's real. But there's other people I don't like. Tony W. I recognize Tony W. as well. And I just can't think where from, man. I do it, and I really apologize. I really apologize, mate. But obviously I don't see your name enough for it to come to mind quickly how it is I remember you. I think you should have a wrench, Gumby. I thought you had one anyway. Yeah, you do. So, what are we doing? Are we going to continue chatting about stuff, or are we going to call an end at 3 hours and 41 minutes? Up to you.
Well,
I'm easy. I ain't got any plans, so I'm easy. I'm in no particular mood either way.
The semi-trail is calling my name. What about you, Sarah?
Say that again?
I said the semi-trail is calling my name.
Yeah.
And it's also saying, Ladybug, bring Ladybug.
Exactly. So I will say that it's the kind of day that we really need to go make something of it. And we've already talked about sunset on beach, fire tonight. So we got some, so I'm going to encourage all of you to plan a day this next week. Disconnect from the damn computer. Get off of your seat if you can. I know not everybody's in the most comfortable situation, but even still, get outside and lay on the grass. Take your shoes off. Get barefoot more than it's actually normal for your feet to be very walking on rocks because it's actually because you're not properly acupuncturing your feet. So the more and more you do it, you actually might notice, I've had 2 knee surgeries at a very young age. I usually have consistent knee twinges that pop up all the time. I went on a decent walk yesterday and haven't really been as active as I should be. And I had some twinging, but otherwise I'm doing good. I sit in the cross-legged position all day long too. So just want to throw out that I think it's important that we start really making sure we at least take a day a week and do that if you're not already doing it. Okay, guys? Mwah! It's my piece.
Ergo, mate, you've got I've given you a wrench as well, so everybody's on an equal playing field. Only trolls don't get wrenches, right? But yeah, I'll just.
We're wondering if it wasn't an accident, by the way, too. I want to make that clear because I'm feeling like it was an accident.
Probably.
Well, I thought everybody knows Ergo because Ergo I am is in,
Zero all the time.
I think it was. I'm
yeah, exactly.
Because of the timing and everything. So it's all good.
Anyways, so we're wrapping up.
Sure. And I'm going to talk to Callum so we can try to come back for a health-specific show where we'll address specific topics because this is things that we want to learn and utilize for our future healing center. So we can then maybe not have to stress so much about making time for it on the Sunday show for we can still do it, but we don't have to take long durations to do it. So we the other thing is because we're still at the coast, we were thinking we could at least do another live this week. Would be kind of fun. So plan that out.
If anybody would like to help the cause, there is a link to the GoFundMe in the description. If anybody would like to help me personally, there is a link to my Tippy stream in the description, rather than a PayPal or Super Chats. And yeah, and it would be great if you could share this, share this video out and give it a thumbs up and all of that stuff. And
help us beat the algorithm and be the notification and all of those, you know, all of that good stuff. And thank you very much for your undivided attention for the last 3 hours, 45 minutes. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot wait to come back. Thank you very much, guys, to my co-hosts. I'll probably speak to you two a bit later. Let me know how your day goes. Yeah. Callum, I'll speak to you, man. Thank you very much, buddy. Your time is always very much appreciated.
Yeah, very much. It's really awesome to have you on the show. Thank you.
And yeah, stay tuned because we got some really exciting stuff to come. Thank you very much, guys. Peace.
In this life in the, what do you think you've learned?
Absolutely nothing. Well, I've tried to learn, but I'll calculate not a lot really. I've learned that you must treat people properly, and that you must proceed in a certain way, and you must try and have a vibe of how to sort of enjoy situations. So I've learned just to, you know, don't get miserable or fight the misery with some intelligence. This is like the most difficult area of the whole malarkey, really. It's how to turn something around when it's going. And it's not something that you can learn by well, as far as I know, I can see, it's something that comes to you with a bit of luck and a bit of instinct, yeah? But therefore, it's not something you can ever bank on. I'm not smart enough to figure out what the hell it is or how it works at all, you know? That's why I treat it like voodoo, 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 voodoo. I do find I still have a talent to like cause a bit of, stir up a little bit of confusion, yeah? But I'll do what I can to create as much chaos as I possibly can. But my chaos is always well-natured, or has a positive goal at the end. Like when I start causing chaos in a situation, it's because the situation really needed to be changed, for example, or something is going to happen that I thought would be a good idea. And 9 times out of 10, I'm on it, I must say. But hopefully, that hasn't unjinxed. That hasn't unjinxed. That hasn't unjinxed. That hasn't unjinxed.